This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
We All Be is under the heaven on, once again, the one and only, the truly incomparable, Dr. Randy Short with the word on what you need to hear right now that's going down in the world today. How you doing tonight, sir?
Man, I am blessed. Thank you. I hope everybody's good out there. A lot's going on, my brother. Lots going on. Oh, my. Lots going on.
Yeah, let's dive into it. I mean, anything you want to talk about off the bat? I'm kind of hearing like you kind of sound like you far away or something like that. I don't know if it's.
Well, let me see. Is it? I sound like I'm far away?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm going to put you on. Does it sound louder?
Oh, yeah, this is way better. Excellent.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so anything you want to talk about me? I mean, like, I just been thinking about all the things that's been happening in the news cycle. I said, what would Dr. Short think about this? And now you're getting a following on the We All Be platform. People want to know what you're thinking about things. So.
Well, first and foremost, I'm open to talk about anything that you want to talk about, and I want to talk about what I want to talk about. So if there's something, we can just, hash it up, mix it up, mash it up. But this can go anywhere. This can go from China, setting a basis in Africa, to this bombing, or should I say the mass killing that they did of the Iranians a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Oh yes, I was at the Congressional Black Caucus last week.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh wait, let's start with that then. Let's start with that CBC weekend or week rather.
Well, I had to take coon sickness antibiotics to be able to endure it. I had to be drugged up to, and I went with my mother, and I was only able to endure the first 40 minutes of the praise breakfast. I mean, I don't know which God they're praying to. It's not mine. Mm-hmm. And they had a little Jewish dude up there blowing the shofar, talking about human rights and everywhere but in Gaza and what Jewish people doing to folks. And he even took the quote from the guy who described black people as monkeys. That's who he quoted from. And, you're in a room for black folks that are dumb as hell. They think that these are people from Russia, are the ancient Hebrews, so they're all touched. But he just bored the hell out of people. Mm. I mean, the Kurt Carr choir, that was good. But then they had two people that, I have issues with. They had Cory Booker. Some people call him Bone Smuggler. I don't know. I have suspicions. And then Kamala Harris, who used to be a party favorite for Willie Brown out in California. They were the heads for this thing. And I mean, these people, you would have thought you had a Malcolm X rally. That's how desperate they are to get people to go out and vote Democratic next in November. Mm-hmm. And it's just very interesting. And so, I got sick when Cedric Richmond, the congressman from New Orleans, got up. I had to get up and leave because when they had the Hurricane Harvey and that just destroyed stuff all over everywhere, you're close to down there, New Orleans, mm-hmm. The Gulf Coast. That dude didn't even make the vote to expand the spending for the people who needed recovery monies. Mm-hmm. So, I just had to get up and walk out. Nobody. They talked about Botham Jean. Okay. But they didn't talk about Flint. They didn't talk about Detroit. They didn't talk about certain things. And a lot of this is just, okay, we're mad at Trump. Well, okay, be mad at Trump. We knew how Trump was going to be. But the question for me was, first and foremost, Obama didn't come. And that was the second time Obama didn't come to something he should have shown up for. Mm-hmm. Then the other thing is, the day after that, last Sunday, they had their big thing and a bunch of them went to Rankin, or should I say they went to the Crampton Auditorium for Howard for the chapel. And some of the friends of the Rankin Chapel, my mother's in that group. They were nice people. They bought my ticket. You know, I'm too broke to pay to be around people who don't fight back.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to find the money for that. But the friends of Rankin Chapel, we had some really cool people we were sitting with at the table. That made it okay. Certain people, but you know, when the brother showed me he was cool with Kamala, I was like, damn, man. And I mean, I was so upset. I was in there eating everybody's pork at the table. You know, can I have your bacon? I need some pork. I need some pork. I mean, sorry, Malcolm X. I need something unhealthy to eat to help me and you know, give me strength. But let me share with you something. The Congressional Black Caucus, that thing was big. I mean, Trump has everybody so upset, so mad. They've run back to our misleadership. Folk are coming back out to the caucus because people hadn't gone. Under Obama, when everybody thought everything was okay, people stopped going. Now that Trump has everybody spooked, the numbers are triple. I mean, all kinds of people down there. They weren't protesting this time. Last couple of years, there have been people out there picking in those cones. And so, you know, they should have made Trump honorary marshal because he got so mad. They banded back together. I mean, there's some good in him in spite of the evil that they're doing. Now, I saw a bunch of Congress people. In fact, I got to tell you this one. Congressman Cummings from Maryland, the one that's old, that's got all these kids outside of his marriage with his wife. Dude was in those old people scooters. He's going to chase skirts now unless he grabs onto it, holds his hand on the advance pedal. Follow the women around. He was there. I saw, what's his name? Bobby Rush, the one that helped get the Black Panthers killed. You know, he's an agent. I saw the one that looks like Uncle Fester with the Afro wig, Karen Bass. Maxine Waters. Oh, my God. I saw her. She had on a blue dress. From behind, I mean, it's like her behind was so bootyless. She's like, who's that? She turned her face. If I had glasses, they would have exploded in my eyes. I'm so glad I have good vision. It was Waters' face. I mean, that just shook me up. But she must be eating donuts, whatever. It has just made her, like, glued up in a nice way, too. I said, her husband hasn't left her. It's hard to leave something like that, except the face. But anyway. You don't have to look at someone to make love to them these days. Anyway, let me see. Who else did I see? I saw Clyburn. I saw Donald Payne Jr., who's looking older and fatter. I saw Yvette Clarke. I talked to the one from the Virgin Islands. I saw Michael Eric Dyson, but I wasn't speaking to him. I took pictures, but I didn't want to speak to him. Because, you know, I talked bad about Michael Eric Dyson. I saw all these people, and what you saw was a lot of Boule, a lot of Masons, a lot of Greeks, and no solutions for Black people. So I'm just glad I caught a little bit. I did get the chance. There's some people that were shooting documentaries. So, you know, I basically asked them straight up, are y'all going to really, because they said, oh, we're doing something on Black leadership. I said, is this some back padding bullshit? Or y'all going to really tell how these people aren't doing nothing for us down here? So they interviewed me, man. You know, I let them have it. And they didn't know who the players were. So I said, you know what? Since y'all interviewed me, I'm going to point out the Congress people that you should talk to, rope them over and get them to talk to you.
Right.
And so we got quite a few of the people. I also saw the one I can't stand when they interviewed me, Hank Johnson, the one that had Cynthia McKinney's seat, the one that had hepatitis C. It's too bad it didn't take him out. I mean, God, he's done nothing for the people in Atlanta. I was so glad I didn't see John Lewis. I would have screen raped, tried to get him in trouble, tried to do some reverse Me Too on him. Just he's into that. They had the meetings. I even heard that the workshops were good. They were talking about relevant stuff, but you know what it is?
What?
The bushy, cool class gets into trouble. They agitate the Black masses and start talking real when they should be real 24/7. I want to tell you, if you had met me before I got a doctorate, I'd be the same way as I am right now. Before I got my master's, I'm the same way I am now. If you had met me before I got my bachelor's, I'm the same way I am now. If you met me in high school, In fact, I got put on the list because I went off on the undersecretary of the Justice Department, an Italian by the name of D'Agostino. I went off his ass with the Quakers in 1981, and I got listed as a dangerous person. And I was 15, 16. So when you talk to me, no matter what anyone ever tells you about, always been for my people at every age. If you had met, that man by the name of Tony Williams, he's got a church down in Dallas. Okay. I punked him when I was 10. So anybody that knows me knows I'm always been the same way. I went off on him for being a coon in Chicago. We're talking about what black people can't do. Well, hell, if we can't do, why are you among us? Get out. I mean, people had to get me off of him. I just went off on him, punk. So I'm saying that to say to you that these people should be consistent. Don't get mad because the president's a reactionary Republican. Y'all should have been mad when Obama was president. In fact, I haven't heard Negroes come out on Obama about not showing up for Aretha Franklin's funeral. That's a little punk nigger. Let me just say this to you. McCain, the white man that ran against you, who got the little racist Palin, who screws the black basketball players all while she's a Klansman by day and want to give it up to light-skinned brothers that nobody can tell they black by night. You went and spent all that time, and Michelle Obama's, she may as well wear a halter or a little band on her waist so George Bush can put money, because he's grinding on her like she's his. She's kissing and slobbering on him. You're down there kissing and grinding on George Bush, and you couldn't make a showing. You couldn't have made a video thing if you didn't plan to show up. You didn't do anything. And this is what happened. If Michael Eric Dyson isn't lying, after all, he does lie to his wife as much as he looks like he runs after everything that has a skirt on. I hope that's not an act. I hope he's really just in the cooch that much. I hope there's nothing else there. Look, Michael Eric Dyson and them were beefing that Obama had promised to come to Aretha Franklin's funeral, and he stood them up. That's what all that Democratic posturing and stuff was for. Obama was supposed to come in and really do some pitch to get black people to come out and vote in November. It's less about the Queen of Soul and more about that funeral, which I call a requiem for coons, was supposed to be the big payback to get all the right big name people on stage on one page attacking the current administration that most black people don't like any damn way. Only thing we like is seeing folks from other countries and other honorary white people losing their white card. Now that feels good. That everybody's getting screwed with now. In fact, that stretches people thin. That gets some extra people off our back. So Obama stood them up, and Michelle didn't go, and they down with McCain, racist ass McCain. Racist ass McCain, who was against the King holiday, and who did Aretha Franklin raise money for? Dr. King. The people who were against Dr. Martin Luther King were at McCain's funeral, and our people were at Aretha's. Where was Obama's ass?
But the Clintons went to both funerals, right? Bill Clinton and Hillary went to both.
Well, Hillary's got a supersonic boom. In fact, they shouldn't have even had that little dyke up in there. I can't stand Hillary Clinton. She's evil. I mean, look at what she did. I noticed Donna Brazile wasn't up there. Because Hillary would probably had her giving her a pedicure up in the pulpit. She's put it to work, right? That's the funeral, and I love the pass at the end that nobody liked.
Right,
oh my God!
Jasper, what you thought about that? What are your thoughts about?
The gays need to show some respect. I knew that folk were gonna get mad. In fact, have you ever heard of anybody make gay an 8-syllable word? I think the gay. I mean, that sermon was really, really interesting. He told a lot of stuff that, people didn't want to hear. But you know what? I've learned this about coons. There's never a time to tell the truth about where black people are. I'm saying that to you as a history teacher. That was even just, well, let's not talk about slavery. Let's not talk about Jim Crow segregation. Let's not talk about lynching. Well, you know, let's talk about Lil Wayne. Shit, that's the biggest part of slavery ever was. Drake, that's slavery, sex slavery. Rihanna, the same thing. I mean, y'all slaves to Illuminati. I mean, who do you think George Washington was Illuminati? It's all the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there's never point. So people say, well, you know, we need to stop airing our dirty laundry. Let me say this to the people listening. If you don't shit and piss in the bed, you don't have any dirty laundry for anybody to see.
Mm.
We've been making bowel movement and pissing on ourselves. I'm not talking about all of us, but too many of us.
Mm-hmm.
And they want us to lay up in bed with their doo-doo and pee and not tell nobody when everyone can smell it.
Mm.
Let's clean up. And you do need fathers in the home. Let me tell you, I've been a teacher in public school, private school, college, upward bound, and I found the children that didn't have a father figure, were the most difficult people to work with. You know, if I give an assignment, if I say, okay, I want y'all to read the chapter tonight, all the ones, y'all don't like this word, all the bastards would start complaining when it's my job to assign you to read.
Right.
The people who didn't complain always were the ones with the dad. The people who are committing suicide, the people who are on drugs, the people who are in jail, the ones who are violent, the ones that are beating, the ones that are molesting, disproportionately the ones with no father around. I don't give two damns about black women who hate black men who think black men are worthless. And as much as I don't matter any damn way, why would I care about what some stupid heifer who hates black men thinks?
Mm.
And it was interesting, the reaction to Jasper Williams. It was all the LGBTQ people or pro-LGBTQ people that were attacking Jasper Williams. Isn't it interesting? The ones who hated male-female homes, that are against a lot of the things that our community needs, were the ones that came out most vociferously against this man. Think about it. That was a great funeral. It was too long. I'm telling you, if Cicely Tyson, man, she looked like a black palm tree. I mean, it's just all the different things that were going on with that. Mm-hmm. Shaka Coon, who was higher than a kite or the Goodyear blimp. I mean, I think going up yonder for her, she thinks she's talking about going to her dealer's house or something. Because I mean, she's saying that song like, you know, I'm going to the corner, going to the corner, going to the corner, right? That's what she should have been singing instead of going up yonder. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. They saved the best for last. Jennifer Holliday can still sing. Mm-hmm. In fact, there were almost two of her. I'm so glad she lost the weight. She's still here. Mm-hmm. And but that funeral, Obama should have been there. Obama should have been there, and Michelle should have been there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's just really, he just disrespected black people.
Yeah, but he hates black people. I've told the story. The dude don't like us. Mm-hmm. And by the way, what Obama's doing now on the QT, they're pushing to normalize pedophilia through the United Nations because they can't get it in America directly. So yeah, Obama's part of that movement. Oh, yes, he is. And we're going to get it. And, you know, they're going to screw little black boys and girls even more than what they're doing already. And all the black folks who worshipped Obama, you know, I almost wish they would have to stand in the place of the pedophiles instead of these innocents that are going to get taken.
Wow.
I mean that. I mean, for all the little chumps, after all this time having figured out dude's lame-ass game and the sacrifice of little boys and girls' booties off of their denial. I just don't want to see. Well, it looks so good, a black family in the White House. Hell, there was a black family in the slave castle selling our asses over here. Black family in the palace is saving our asses over here, right? Mm-hmm. There's a black family, the Boulay, this Negro that looks like a Easter bunny rabbit with the ears cut off on K2, Dr. Harry L. Williams, the president of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, who wants most of the black schools in this country merged or closed. He's got a black family.
Mm.
I don't care about how it looks. You know, if it went by looks, a lot of folks don't have good looking genitalia, but it works.
Right.
Have you heard about people getting, was it vaginoplasty? Because guys think that the women's vaginas don't look like the women in the porn movies that they've seen, porn films. So the women have to go and get their vaginas cosmetically altered to look like the tricks that these people have seen in the pornos.
Wow.
Because of the look. Hell, that woman, that's what she is. I mean, it can dust your broom off like anything else can. You're going to sit up and compare it to another person. Well, why don't you get with the porn queen that's got the AIDS and leave her alone?
Right. I hear you. Well, Dr. Shaw, what do you think about the Bishop situation with Ariana Grande, the singer?
Oh, my God. Well,
and the looking.
he was singing Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Breast instead of somebody's hand. You know he did that. He groped her. And by the way, he was too close. He had his pelvis against her behind, too. We're only talking about the hand. That's what you can see.
Mm.
You missed the hidden hand in his drawers. Come on. If I were that close to get that much in my arm, then I had to be against her back.
Mm-hmm.
And let her get a feel of him from behind. And she wasn't wiggling away either. And by the way, why do they have a little white tramp on there singing Natural Woman anyway? You make me feel like a natural white woman taking your black man. That's what you should have been singing up there. Running around with no clothes on, trying to tempt a black man. I could take your men. I have a cosmetically altered behind, like Kardashian. I can take the next Kanye, right? I mean, why didn't they have a black woman sing that? Why did they have the Clintons up there? Why?
But they did show up, though. The Clintons did show up, and Bill Clinton did speak.
The devil shows up every time the church door opens. They just incarnate. I mean, Bill Clinton's a rapist. She's a rapist, too. That stuff on the dark web, but she and her girlfriend killed this little girl. Oh, yes, I said it. You know I can't stand Hillary. And I have to say that my future pastor, Reverend Dr. Raymond Fauntroy, former president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference for Miami, his brother Walter Fauntroy, that Hillary Clinton tried to have murdered in Libya and had him exiled almost to the point where he'd die in the Middle East. That's my pastor.
This same Hillary that was laughing and joking about Gaddafi being killed as Secretary of State.
Yeah, because Gaddafi was friends with Walter Fauntroy. They used Walter Fauntroy as bait to get Gaddafi.
Wow.
Then decide to kill him. They did that to my friend. So when y'all hear me about HAT Hillary Clinton, okay, you can't hear anything nice. I'd start cussing. You try to kill my pastor, the man that stood up for my people in the city with Marion Barry, I'll never forgive her. And I don't like black people that like Hillary Clinton. She don't mean a damn thing to us. In fact, if you saw what Omarosa said, Hillary Clinton used a whole bunch of black people to raise money for her and only gave like 1 out of 50 people a job to show you how much she thought of the black people fighting for her. She hates us. She and Obama and Eric Holder hate our guts. And by the way, to see Kamala Harris's sorry ass at the Congressional Black Caucus talking all militant about compassion. And I always remind people about Matrice Richardson, a young woman who got chopped up like a bucket of chicken. And it took thousands of people petitioning, demanding that Kamala Harris do her goddamn job. Remember all the black men that were getting shot on the subway and all this other kind of stuff happening? Black men getting shot down. None of the police got convicted. Who was the prosecutor? Kamala Harris. Wow. Kamala Harris gave the police a free hand to have sex with underage child sex workers or sex slaves, to shoot and brutalize black folks. That's Kamala Harris. Why is it all these black bitch prosecutors that they're putting up for these jobs? These are black women that have made a career participating as willing screws in the mass incarceration machine. I don't want to see another black female prosecutor running for anything. Get me a sister that was a public defender. Get me a sister that's a teacher or a preacher or somebody that was resisting our brothers and sisters being locked up. not folks who facilitated it. So no, Kamala, I don't want you. You're just what I call OWB. You're just Obama with boobs, broad. We see right through you. Plus, you're Jamaican brown. You don't even like dark-skinned Jamaicans. I'm not saying you, but your class. I know about East Indians down in the Caribbean. They're not for black folks. They have one named Panday. I think Panday is in Trinidad. And they're traveling to rile up and remind the Hindus, be away. We're fighting against racial annihilation. Stay away from blacks. Be against black people. We know about the Indians down there. They're vicious. They pushed black folks out of Guyana. They're all up here being arrogant, acting like they're better than black Americans. They have British education. Well, damn it, it didn't save your homeland where you came from. Right? And let's talk about that dude in Dallas. Now,
yes,
I do care, but I'm going to just say it's blood, sweat, and tears. If you have to be laid up with white folk in this era of racial intolerance and violence, you've written your own death warrant. And if that cooch, or if you gay, you want to be someone, you want to be the tight end for someone, you want to be the tight end for the Urugu, you want to be a Urugu lover on the other side of the bed or the right side of the bed or under the bed or whatever you're doing, you've written your own death warrant, because if anything happens to you, you're going to learn Dred Scott applies, especially when sex and race intersect. This thing has been out, 2-3 weeks now, and they still can't acknowledge that dude must have been dropping the pipe on her, cut her off. After all, she looks like one of those lemon head candies with Down syndrome, right? He dumped her. She got a Jewish type name, so I'm thinking that helps. And I could want to try to come through that. Yeah, Geiger. Geiger counter. She didn't count the bullets. She hit him first time. Okay. Geiger and him, there's no way when he has a red rug outside his house, unless she has a red rug, we're not talking about her vulva, but we're talking about her rug outside the house. If you don't have a red rug outside your door, there's no way that she knew that. She thought that was her apartment. None of her stories measure up. Nothing. And nobody wants to hear the neighbor saying she was banging on the door. That sounded like a late booty call, and he probably wasn't, trying to chum the lawns. She came and got him back. Let's just deal with it. You want to meet a vengeful person? Mess with the Becky, give her some pipe, and then stop doing it. After she's been taught that every black man would die to sleep with her, and she finds out that she's just another piece of meat to a black person. I mean, just to defend her white female hysterical version pride. She's got to go in and hurt someone to scream rape. You can't leave this. I'm a white woman. I let you into heaven, the holies of holies, you black coon, stud, buck. Better not say no. Do you know who I am? Right? And if he didn't take it, this little Caribbean spice thing, saying, I get another white girl. Like he's some gigolo on the beach. If you're in the Ocho Rios, Jamaica, yes. There's a big thing of black male sex prostitution. It's all over the world. They're selling their genitalia to white women. They do it in Morocco. And the Gambia, the brothers who screw the white women are called bumpsters. In Jamaica and other places, they're called renegades. And these are guys who walk around really tight swim trunks to let the white women know I'm really packing. And we know you've come to the island for sun and fun. I can just skewer you out and send you back to the cold, icy thing with a smile on your face. Let's be honest that this is what's going on throughout the Caribbean. And it happens in Kenya too, and in Africa too, that folks go to these places to have sex with people, even with children, in particular black children, because it's cheap, and all these myths about how many more inches or centimeters or whatever it is, the sperm counts, whatever. And so, dude probably was servicing the building. If you notice, all the folks crying about, you don't see no black women that are young crying over here. Notice that. No sister girlfriends. He's an integrated predominantly white church probably. And see these foreign black people, yeah, I'm gonna mess with y'all. Y'all come to America and y'all don't want to know black Americans. You know, when you're a black American and you travel abroad, if you only go to the tourist areas, the local black people look down on you because they feel like you don't want to know them. You only want to see the sights. They're not wrong. Then if I'm equal, what the hell are you when you come from another country and you don't want to know anything about the real black people where you go? Are you hearing me?
I hear you.
So we're not worth nothing. It's only the other people who never went to the Supreme Court like black people did around 1913, the NAACP and other people went and lobbied to open this country up so blacks in the Caribbean and Africa could come here. They don't know that. They think they came here because I'm well educated. I won the lottery. Shit, people fought for your black ass to get up in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you to get here to fight to hold us down, or I don't want to know, I don't want to understand, well, we hear you guys are dirty, you're nasty, you're all criminals. Really? You know how many murders take place in South Africa? Like about 40,000. Do you know how many murders black Americans have? Now, South Africa has anywhere from 50, 60 million or more people. But let's just say they have the 60 million. There are about 50 million black in the United States. We've got about 6,000 murders. Way too many. Unacceptable. I hate it. Let's even say it's 10,000, but it's not that many. It's 7,000, 7,000 a year. Awful. I hate it. We have to stop doing it to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But over in wonderful Africa, you've got about 40,000 plus murders annually.
Wow.
In South Africa. And in Jamaica, small, teeny, tiny Jamaica, population under 3.5 million, they get about 2,000 murders a year. That's under 3.5 million. You can put that number to us many times.
Ooh, what about Chicago, though? Chicago.
Well, let's look at Chicago. What's going on in Chicago? Mm-hmm. Because Laquan McDonald's case started Monday this week.
Okay.
First and foremost, Chicago's the largest. Cook County has the largest number of black people in any county in the country. That's one. Mm-hmm. Blacks in Chicago in greater numbers than what they're saying. That's another thing. They never tell the truth about the numbers. All right? Mm-hmm. It is a key democratic city in the country. It is the key to the middle part of the United States. And black people are about a third of the population there. They've done everything for their sanctuary city insanity to break the back of black people. They've let 1 million Mexicans come in the country. Once black folks got strong in Chicago, they just let them flood in. The largest Mexican American community outside of Mexico is in Chicago.
Wow.
Or actually second after Los Angeles in Chicago.
Okay. That makes sense.
But you know what? But straight up Mexican numbers, because you got a lot of people in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they put them there. They wanted to put 100,000 Puerto Ricans after the hurricane in Chicago. Anything to weaken the black people. They put dope in Chicago. I had an opportunity when I was 10 years old to meet someone who was a detective from the Chicago Police Department. There was a group, we used to go to a black nationalist Christian conference held by the Bentleys in the old Roberts Motel. Doesn't exist anymore. And the Chicago police detective, who was black, explained that they had people from Thailand and Taiwan bringing in dope from Thailand. And they couldn't stop them when they arrested them because they had diplomatic immunity. They had to give them their dope back and let them go. The dope was being flown in, brought sometimes to Canada, sometimes straight into Chicago. And it was the Thailand or the Taiwanese Central Intelligence Agency that was bringing the dope over, meaning that they had clearance. Now I'm talking about 1975. Wow. Are you with me?
I'm listening. I'm just soaking it in.
And they were not allowed to. There's something else. Chicago had the gangs that had crossed over to be involved in civil rights. Because my grandpappy, Reverend C.T. Vivian, and others had recruited the gangs had negotiated a deal for jobs and training for them to stay out of crime. The government reneged. They needed to break the back of those street organizations that used to defend the black community. They brought the dope in. They brought the guns in. They intensified that. They assassinated Harold Washington. He was given formaldehyde to drink in his coffee. So when they did an autopsy, they couldn't find out. They've done everything they could to break the backs of blacks in Chicago. In fact, the last time black people won a real victory was when Harold Washington was elected in 1984. Obama wasn't a victory for gays and for Jews. We just thought we'd get something. Now show me what the hell we had after 8 years of that Negro. Chicago is the heart of black America, and they want to rip it out of us. And they haven't been able. They did it in Detroit. The water's being poisoned in Detroit. They've given the Chinese homes for $1 in Detroit. They've done everything to break the black people in Detroit, and they've basically almost succeeded. Chicago, those folks are rough and tumble. Chicago's water is poison. The water in the jail is poison. There's cadmium and manganese and lead. And of course, if you have fluoride, which combines with the lead, then you're going to have more violence. The water, there's a link between unsafe water. There's lead all in the water in Baltimore. Do you know that's a secret? The people who try to talk about water safety in Baltimore get threatened. So black people being exterminated with the water. And all the cities where I live here in Washington, 3.5 miles from Trump's house. For about 2 months, the water wasn't safe to drink. What the fuck country we live in that's got, talking about having a space force, and you can't drink the damn water that they're overcharging you for? Poisoning you with the water, overcharging you with the water, and taking your children away, taking your house, all of this around water, and there's not one damn movement for water safety or access. In fact, there's a gentleman that you haven't heard of, but you've heard it on your show. His name is Ray West, and his son is Kanye West. Ray West, 15, 16 years ago, became a water as a human rights activist. His whole goal was to set up water stores where people could get safe, affordable water, cheaper than what you pay when you buy them there. And I don't know what happened with that, but I have a feeling that people did everything they could to keep this man from getting the resources to make water available because it's good for our people.
Well, Kanye's coming back to Chicago. You think he might try to restart that? And
I don't know if Kanye's going to do it. You know, I don't know. I mean, ever since he got with that bubble butt hole that he got, it's been interesting, you know? And it's even a real bubble. It's a plastic bubble butt or whatever. I'm not even mad. At least she's made a black kid. I hope he's not confused like she is. And, you know, this sex bad. He's probably going to only want white girls. Anyway, he's going to probably want to be with Britney Spears when he grows up. But this water, so Chicago people need to remember that was one of the first places that black folks organized the Don't Buy Where You Can't Work. They give New York the credit. New York gets credit for a lot of things it doesn't originate. New York has numbers and venue, not necessarily originality.
Right. I agree.
Okay. Hell of a lot of stuff comes straight out of Memphis. More stuff comes out of Memphis. Damn. Elvis, Rufus Thomas. I mean, I mean, Carla Thomas.
Right, there's a lot. Yeah.
And if they're not from there, they're influenced by B.B. King, almost everything. More stuff comes through Memphis than New York, frankly.
Yeah.
You go to New York to make it big.
It's a media capital, right? It's a media and finance capital.
Yeah, but it's not an ideas or a culture center, except for people who bring the culture from someplace else to New York to be found.
I agree.
Chicago's not like that. Chicago makes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago makes stuff. Chicago started the don't buy where you can't work.
Mm.
And that spread from Chicago to New York. That's almost the heart of the new black movement. Chicago, the black people fought back. 100 years ago, this July coming will be the anniversary of the whites trying to drive blacks out of Chicago, and the black people fought back.
The Red Summer, right?
The Red Summer, but it started in D.C., and D.C., they kicked some ass in D.C. They locked them down here. They beat them so badly in D.C. until history started in Chicago, where the blacks weren't prepared. The whites came for them, so they had a day or two. They had Negroes on the run. But then they got it coming back. Blacks in Chicago stood. And in fact, in Chicago, unlike D.C., where it was 2-1 in D.C., in Chicago, damn. Damn. It was like 21-1, and they stood up to them. The black folks wouldn't be punked out. They wouldn't be, chunked down. 200,000 blacks in Chicago in 1919, and the city had 2 million people. I mean, it's the black folks outnumbered 10, 15-1, said, F this, we're not going to take it. And they fought back, and they were able. D.C. was like 2-1. I mean, black folks can knock 2 people aside the head. But not 15 people. Chicago, and see, those are Mississippi black people.
Mm-hmm.
People seem to forget that when you did something down south, a whole lot of people one day got mad. Somebody kept fondling their girlfriend in the cotton field, and one day someone just broke someone's neck, and they had to take the train to Chicago because they couldn't get. Chicago was full of people who were tired of the shit.
Yeah.
That tired of the mess in Chicago. Think about it. Al Sharpton was going everywhere in the country trying to dominate stuff. He went to Chicago. He can last 3 weeks. Yeah. Chicago turned him out. Yeah, they couldn't. I mean, they invited him to a meeting. All the people cussed him out. My boy was there. We want you to get out. We don't want you. Who are you? You're not even using a Chicago black manufactured hair pomade. No, I don't respect you. You don't even have a bag on your head. No. You need to go back to New York. And the people in New York hate him, right? It was the people in Chicago that ran him out of St. Louis. You didn't know the people from Chicago went down and organized the people in Ferguson?
No, I had no idea. No, sir.
You didn't know the people from Chicago helped instigate the stuff in Baltimore? Chicago's gangster central. The people in Chicago connected to the people in Milwaukee. Look, this gang central. Come on, remember the brothers, I think it's the Hughes brothers? They went from Arkansas up to Detroit. But you pass through Chicago, look, the blacks in the Chicago fight. They're in the neighborhoods and space. It's very different from black people everywhere else in the country. In Chicago, they want to control the space.
Right.
If Atlanta were as tough as Chicago, this stuff that the little gays are trying to roll up with the little black lovers would not be taking Atlanta like they're doing. In Chicago, you can't take space like that. You can't. You can't sell stuff in black neighborhoods in Chicago. You'll get robbed. You have to have black people do it. They won't take it. It's like it's its own little black country up there. Obama's afraid to go and he can't even get his library built. I think you saw the thing. They have an injunction. The black people don't want his library.
Oh, really? They don't want his library.
Yeah, they don't want him because he wants to take out the South Side. The people in Chicago are people, they were the folks who liked to fight down in Arkansas, Mississippi, and they got up there. It's gangster central. Now, I don't like the shooting, don't like the fighting. I want this stuff to stop. Don't get me wrong. I feel horrible about it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the blacks in Chicago told the white people they couldn't have the Olympics? Remember they had the Olympics? The little black folks from the hood went all over the world and says, no, we don't want the Olympics in Chicago. They made it fail. You know Chicago supposed to have the Olympics? And the people from the community says, well, no, y'all don't give us any jobs.
When was this? Like, what year were they looking at?
It's between, I think, for 2012 or 16. Whenever they had last one, it was supposed to be in London. Chicago's supposed to be a finalist. It's the people from the community went all over the world dogging. They blocked it. Yes, the black people threatened the bond issue. Black folk aren't doing that stuff in New York. New Yorkers, y'all got a lot of mouth. There are 2-3 million of y'all. Y'all don't get nothing done except, bow down to Jews.
It's like a plantation over New York, though. New York is like a plantation for black folks.
And hate people who are from smaller cities. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I'm mad at you because you don't live in a city with at least 5 million people. What does that have to do with anything? I'm serious. New York, New York. Go from New York. I mean, yeah, you're from New York. You're getting pushed out of New York. I mean, you don't have.
You tell the truth, Dr. Short. You tell the truth.
I mean, all you need to do is have the Iranians or somebody fire a missile into Israel. All the little Jews will just push all the black people out of Brooklyn, Queens, and Bronx. I mean, all of those black folks up there, and they're not united.
No, they're not. They stay in all of them boroughs.
Yeah, they're weak. And I love New York, but they have all the little crazy ideas talking about pyramids and shit. I mean, let's talk about owning some bodegas. Let's talk about owning some shoe stores. I mean, y'all fighting with Asians over barbecue and nails. Those folks shouldn't be in business. How did that happen? Why are y'all giving your money? You're so proud of all the stores that you don't own that you can go to. Well, who had the big boycott that almost crashed downtown? Chicago. They shut the whole down. I mean, made all the white merchants try to jump off their buildings. Angry black people won't shop. That's the one place in the country that black people don't give a damn. That's a place that Trump and them can't even come for the white people in Chicago. Can't even have it. And the black people weren't even trying to act out. That's white, just, weak ass white people are tripping. Chicago is the most American city of its size. Most of the people, we don't know where the people from in New York. They're from everywhere. Chicago, that's America, brother. Except for these little, Spanish folks that have come up recently. I mean, I'd say 2/3 or more of the people are just folks who've been in the country for 100 years or longer. That's America. Chicago. Look, what city did Dr. King just completely bomb in? Chicago.
Cicero, yeah.
It is the heart of America. It's the roughest, most racist, most segregated, but at the same time, it has the most resilient black community relative to its importance. They want to take it down. They got Detroit. Detroit has a chance. It's down for the count. Here in D.C., it should be called Dick City because it got this little lesbian mayor that looks like Arsenio with no mustache. That dude has said nothing about bad. In fact, there's some black dude wilded out and stabbed up some white woman a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
It's a mile and a half from my house. That's like 4 blocks from where I went to high school, junior high school. Yeah, it's less than 4 blocks. But you have all these white folks strutting around like William the Conqueror, and all this gentrification and this makes someone feel like hurting somebody. People talk to you like you don't belong here. Everyone looks at you like, are you from here? Oh my God, you must be. Do you have AIDS? Are you homeless? Just an attitude of these people. Go away. You don't even like this city. But the good news is the economy is going to crash soon. Thank you, Trump. And you know what's going to happen? Gentrification is going to stop. just like that. It's going to hit like, there was a song, there's a group, I know you've heard of them called EU Funk. They're the ones that do it in the butt, Trouble Funk.
Yeah.
And there's a rival group called EU Funk. And they would sing EU Freeze, and they would play the song, da, 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 EU Freeze, and everybody would freeze. Okay, this is going to be gentrification freeze because the economy is going to collapse. And when you have that $1 million loft and you're used to drinking $100 worth of green bean coffee a day and you can't afford that shit, either you're going to get on opioids, which means you're not going to be able to pay for your loft, right? Or you're going to leave and you'll get jingle mail. The white people will leave their keys and walk out. So black folks just need to hold on. That's why they're pushing so hard, all this stuff to just get us out. Because if you're off the land, then they can do whatever they want to you. If you manage to hang on, you're there. There are more people in D.C. than what they think. There are more people in Chicago than what they think. There are more people in Detroit than what they think. That's why they keep pouring the drugs, the bad water, the food desert to starve us out. But if we hang on, if this market crashes, all the white folks want to push their kids around in strollers and stuff, or have you push their babies in strollers. How are they going to be able to afford these overpriced, cheaply built homes? They're going to have to go back to Utah and Montana and Nebraska. Yeah, I mean, go back to the fields you came from. You're not from here. You don't want to be around here. They're going to have to go. But, when you travel to some place like D.C. or Atlanta, and they always say starting at $800,000, as if people are making $800,000 mortgage money, starting in the low millions. Who's making that money?
Exactly.
Nobody is. So that bubble is coming, and it's going to bust all up in the face of these crackers. And that's what they're saying that I love it, the opioid epidemic, we haven't seen the bottom or the end of it. That stuff's going to keep going up. In fact, we can just, do like Donna Ross. Ain't no needle high enough. Ain't no fentanyl deep enough, right?
Wow.
To help me get through, right? The opioid thing is going to feed into, in fact, the illegal opioids. You know why? They've cut down on the number of opioids that are being given by doctors, right? So if they've reduced that by a third, the pills, then what are you going to do if you already got the shakes, right? Then you've got to get the illegal stuff. So there's going to be heroin, cocaine, and all this stuff. And the Mexicans get mad, if Trump's in there, they're going to keep doing. Remember that movie, American Me? The little white girl got mad and they spiked the drugs to kill the Spanish-speaking people. So John we'll put some extra stuff. Like the people up in New Haven that thought that they were just getting some weed. They were smoking weed and they had fentanyl that almost killed like 80 people. They all had to be taken to the hospital. You're going to see opioids make a comeback, even though they're trying to say that they've seen the end of it. It's not. It's going to continue, and particularly when they're messing with the Chinese. In fact, I wanted to just run this by you. Did you hear that the Chinese want to put bases and missiles in Zambia? They're talking about having a fight with white America over in Africa. This stuff is coming soon. Wow. They've got these sanctions, which are economic warfare against Russia and China. How long before somebody snaps? And also, don't be surprised if there isn't some terrorism that goes down. There's a woman, it's real ugly, a Middle Eastern woman. Her name is Maryam Rajavi. She's the head of the MKO, Mujahideen al-Haq, which is the MKO is the other name for it. This is a terrorist cult group, a terrorist sect, pseudo-Islamic group that's based in France, but also they have representation in America. In fact, one of their main advocates is Fat Girl, Sheila Jackson Lee. Yep, Sheila Jackson Lee supports an Iranian terrorist group, the group that may have had some influence on the attack in Abkhaz, Iran, where the Iranian army, which is called the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, in the city of Abkhaz and the southwestern state. It's the blackest area of Iran, where the black people are, and they have the best music and best food too. Khuzestan, where the oil comes from. They attacked and shot 60 people, killed at least 29. And a lot of people they killed were soldiers. So, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which everyone says they're exporting international terrorism. Well, damn it, you've given them a real good reason now. If you can't smoke a bunch of my homies on parade, then I'd want to do something to whoever did it to me. And I had put something up on my Facebook page. You may have seen it because I always put memes up there. There's a woman with the green hijab on talking to Rudy Giuliani.
Uh-huh.
They began to give the MKO a whole bunch of praise. And that's when I started putting memes up saying, there's no reason. So when they put all that nice stuff up there about her, I knew that something had to go down. And sure enough, this little attack happened with 4 people, shot up and killed all these people. That's going to be problems because the president of Iran, who's been a coon up until recently, until Trump got in. Trump is making everybody want to fight. Trump is sort of like a coach. The coach come and say, you're a punk, you're a sissy, you're a fag, get off your ass, I hate you. Nobody wants you want to go and beat the hell out of you, I'll kill you.
Right.
Like, Trump is just making everybody so angry till folks who don't have heart just want to just go ballistic on somebody. Speaking of that, the Bassem Jean thing that's quite interesting. Some police cops tried to kick in a black family's door about six miles from where I live. Mm-hmm. And the man at the house, praise the Lord, shot both cops. Mm-hmm. Pat, pat. They were told to go to a drug dealer's home, right? Mm-hmm. And they took the wrong address. And then you just start kicking in the door. Can you imagine that? You don't know what's going on. People come with guns. You don't know if you're going to get shot.
That's right.
You don't know who it is. Mm-hmm. He shot both of them. No charges. More power to the people. The moral of that story, get your ass a gun. If you're not doing anything or someone's trying to come through your door, let them have it. Mm-hmm. Let them have it.
Did he kill the cops or they survived their shots?
I don't know I don't think he killed them, but I know that they were incapacitated. They weren't able to come in and do anything to him and his daughter. I mean, they're just in their house and all of a sudden someone's trying to kick in your door, threatening you. You don't know who it is. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to be merciful because they've been told that you were there, right? Mm-hmm. The dude spiked both of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me say my great word. Django. Okay, anyway. Now, speaking of Django, there's this woman named Sanucci Mosley. She's a woman that looks like Tommy Davidson from In Living Color. Mm-hmm. If she is a woman, okay. If she's not, I'll give her that too. I mean, nowadays it's damn, you just whatever you say you is. I mean,
right.
Trisexual, try name, damn. But she looks just like Tommy Davidson because it says she's more flat chested than Gilligan on Gilligan's Island. I said, what kind of woman? I mean, even Omarosa had more than that before she got the augmentation. Come on. Mm-hmm. That's a woman. I mean, all flat chested and had an ankh on. But apparently somebody had maybe one of those white women told her no. Or maybe her sex toy or something broke or someone said something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But went to work with her Glock and shot just all the white folks at Rite Aid's distribution center and shot herself. But man, it's a hard look. I'm telling you, she could have been 101st Airborne. Nobody would have asked.
Was it in Baltimore? This happened in Baltimore?
Northeast of Baltimore. Mm. Yeah, she's from Baltimore County.
Okay.
Baltimore County is about 30-40% black. Mm-hmm. But no, apparently, so she went in and I just pap, shot people in there. It's like, then shot herself. Wow. And to me, I says, this is interesting because, the last two mass shootings, you had that hard-looking Iranian woman that looked like John Travolta. No, actually, she looked like Chachi from Happy Days. Mm-hmm. Scott Baio. Yeah. She looked like Scott Baio, the ones that went up into Google or Yahoo. One of the two.
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Yeah.
She went to YouTube, and shot up all the people. I thought it was Scott Baio. Damn, I didn't know he was out. Right. So you have these odd-looking macho broads who like guns.
Mm-hmm.
And so y'all be on the lookout. If you're working with the sister that looks kind of macho, like they want to be G.I. Joe, be nice to them. Don't do nothing. They may have a house full of guns. Wait for someone to make a transfer. Ask you, have you been to RuPaul's drag race or something? And then they come back and, they'll drag this, right? So, no, be nice to people. Don't talk about people like I'm doing this over the radio. I won't do it at work. Anyway, there's some genocides going on. There's a genocide going on in Uganda. The little no good dude, Museveni, the one that wanted to kill all the gay people.
Uh-huh.
There's an artist. His name is Bobby Wine. And that's not a porn name. That's his music name, Bobby Wine. He's an artist who's a politician who is hated by Museveni. Museveni is a Tutsi. They're the group that was kicking everybody in the ass on the request of white folks who had colonized Central Africa and told them that you're the lost tribe of Israel, or you're sort of more white like us because you have long faces and you don't look like black people with big noses, so you're not really black. And we need to beat up the larger majority, and we're going to give y'all privileges. But anyway, you'll find all of Central Africa is dominated by, and I don't hate Tutsis, I have Tutsi friends, but a lot of Tutsis are coons. They're sort of like Creoles that want to be white.
Mm-hmm.
No, what I'm talking about. Okay. Anyway, so Kabila in Congo is a Tutsi. Kagame, who runs Rwanda, is a Tutsi. Museveni, who runs Uganda, is a Tutsi. The fighting in South Sudan, the Tutsis are somewhat involved in that. The fighting in the Central African Republic, the Tutsis are involved in that. The fighting in Congo is Tutsi related. The effort to get rid of Nkurunziza, who is the only Hutu head of state in the Central African region, although they are the majority in several places, and particularly in Rwanda and Burundi, it's the Tutsis that are who are partnered with the Israelis and the Americans to overturn his thing there. And so you've got all this mess going on because there's this whole thing called, in French, Lacustrine Empire, or the lake. They want to have a great empire. Tutsi, we're the good, slender-faced, fine-featured black people rolling over the Negroes with the big white noses that you can put pineapples in the nostrils. Mm-hmm. We rule it for them. This is what they kind of want. Not that everybody Tutsi's for, but this is what Museveni and what's his face, Kagame, who's the dictator who runs Rwanda. And I always say to people in Spanish, in particular Puerto Rican Spanish, Kagame means shit on me. In Spanish, and yes, because caca is doo-doo. Mm-hmm. A cock is doo-doo. Ka, me. Caca, me, or caga, shit on me is his name.
Wow.
And it actually should be shit on us. It should be caga nuestros, shit on us. He's done nothing for us except create problems. But anyway, there's lots of killing, raping, police violence. You're not hearing about it because Uganda does America's dirty work in East Africa along with the Kenyans. Mm-hmm. Another genocide going on nobody's talking about is over in the southwest portion of Cameroon. Certain people call the area Bamenda. They want their own country called Ambazonia. And this little no good Uncle Tom Coon person by the name of Paul Biya, who's been like dictator since the 80s mm-hmm. or 70s of Cameroon. I had to check the dates. He's been there so long, at least 35 years. Okay, Paul Biya, they're just doing mass murders, mass rapes, and they want to exterminate the English-speaking people. Back in the 1960s, when Nigeria was becoming a country and Cameroon was becoming a country, they did a referendum to swap a part of northern Cameroon to Nigeria in exchange for southern part of Nigeria going to Cameroon. It's a mistake. They got a lot more Muslims than what they could stand in Nigeria. And then the people, the southern part, which have more in common with the people in Nigeria, they've been an oppressed minority who are on the richest property. And the ones that are Muslim, they were put in power because they kissed the French people's asses, and they have the army to terrorize the other people. So expect more horror stories from there. I think I'd share with you that they have, thanks to Obama, your Lord and Savior, if you're a coon, or I call him Black Neck Jesus. Obama, about 5 years ago, enacted a thing called Presidential Policy Directive 23, which it sounds like it's humanitarian, but it further militarizes sub-Saharan Africa for the benefit of America and client states that are friendly to the United States. And that means that, and they targeted, in fact, I have a map on my desktop, I'd have to show it to you, where the West Point, which is America's premier military academy for training officers, has been studying all the areas of Africa where my ethnic group, the Fulani, come from, to target them as the friends of terrorism that need to be quarantined and handled. So you're seeing Fulanis being used because they're kind of stupid in Nigeria. They're being used to fight. They're hunter-gatherers, or not hunter-gatherers, they're herders, they're pastoralists. They have their cattle. They want to run their cattle through people's corn, cotton, soybeans, sorghum fields, and there's fights. Thousands of people killed in Nigeria. This is going on right now. Mm-hmm. And this is going on in Central African Republic and the Tapki region of Mali. And if this stuff keeps going on, you may see that all the way across the Sahel fighting. All over Africa, they're fighting. And part of this has to do with the fact, as we deal with this Hurricane Florence, which, I don't know if it's a weather machine or whatever, it's amazing that we're getting too much rain on one part of the country and none on the California side. That if they're able to manipulate the weather, they've been doing it to Africa for decades, causing Africa to dry up and for there to be water shortages, which makes people fight each other. Because if they can steer rain through seeding clouds and nanotechnology, then they could also get it to rain on the African continent, where there wouldn't be a drought year after year after year, which forces people who are literally being burnt out or driven out by the desert to go into areas that they didn't want to live in the first place and have to fight with people that are there because of the scarcity of water.
Right.
These folks are devils, man. These folks are absolute devils. If there's any truth that you can seed the clouds, you can put stuff in the air, you can guide them. Because if you look at how these hurricanes come, we've got 8 of them. 8? How did they know that? You just arrange one after the other and just. Did you ever hear about that until recently? Now they just come 6 and 7. And it used to be there'd be a couple of weeks and another one. Now you got about 8 at one time, 5 at one time, one after the other.
It's crazy.
That just suddenly started happening where you get like 6 or 7 or 10 at one time. That doesn't sound quite, having followed and looked a little bit at hurricanes and stuff. Come on, man, you've been around for a while. When did you start hearing about 4 and 5 and 6 of them at one time?
That's a recent phenomenon. But as the waters get warmer, right? The oceans get warmer, and you go have more super hurricanes.
But how is the water warmer if you've got more ice melting?
That's a good question. These are good questions.
The ice is going to cool it off, wouldn't it?
I would think so, but hey.
Hold on. Let me explain to you why I'm saying that. You just had a stupid ass white person swimming in Massachusetts Bay, and they ended up becoming a Triscuit for a shark. The sharks that are used to warmer water have come up. They're not down where it's warmer. Came up where it's cooler. It must be cold in Massachusetts, cooler there. Why else would the sharks be there?
Right.
So it's warmer as compared to what? It seems as if the sharks wanted to, you know, I'm not saying I understand this completely, but you see, they tell you this stuff. And then when there are contradictions, they don't explain, well, there's an exception.
Right.
So, you know, I'm not even, you know, all the icebergs, all this melting, all this. If you melt ice, isn't the water still cold?
Yeah.
It may not be like ice, but it's going to be cold. And you've had a cooler before, and all the ice melted, but the water was still cold as hell. So you stuck your hand in to get a soft drink out. It was still cold.
Right.
You mean to tell me when it melts in the ocean, it all of a sudden becomes boiling hot like it's been the microwave? You mean water's that different in the ocean than in a pot or pan? Or I don't believe that. It has to stay cool at some point. What would make the water necessarily hotter in a large amount of water? Sit down and think. Work with me for a second. Get a cup. Everybody get one freaking cup. And that water can be warm. Put ice in it. Will it stay the same temperature? No, it'll get cooler.
Right.
So if all this ice, more ice is melted than ever before, how is the water hotter? This explain to me, maybe the sun, the equator, I could get that. But wait a minute. If it's not too hot with the temperature as it is, then why would the ice water going into it make it warmer? Seems like the ice water would make it colder. Or it would stay the same.
I mean, this is good questions you raise them, because somebody would tell me that somebody told them that we're getting closer to the sun, like the Earth is moving closer to the sun.
That's cool. We
So
got melanin. And white supremacy close to the sun, baby. Yeah, hate me now. And I'm going to contribute to your copper tone fund. I don't know if it'll help you then. That bitch, right.
But also, you got people that said that we can never run out of oil, that the fossil fuel thing is a myth. It's a lie about fossil fuels.
It doesn't matter if fossil fuel is true or false. You got solar power. There's enough solar power in Arizona to power this whole country. They know that. What does stupid ass Trump and them do? They're fighting against solar power. That's because they want to sell people oil. That's one. There's so many. There's geothermal power underground, the lava and all this stuff they got in Hawaii. Look, if they can't live there, just use the bitch for geothermal. Find some way. Find it. I mean, Alaska, all these places, and Iceland, they're using geothermal to grow bananas and pineapples. There's lots of things. The problem is that the rich 1% devils can't make the killing. They can't murder people for the price of the stuff if you use more affordable energy. That's somebody's bottom line being screwed.
Right. I agree.
What do you mean? In fact, they just found, look, the country that just had major oil and gas discoveries. Guess which one it is?
I don't know. Tell me.
Iran. They found all this oil and gas and just But I don't like you. I hate you. I don't want your oil and your gas. Venezuela has oil and gas more than we don't like their government, so their oil reserves don't exist. There used to be where they would say they used to not buy oil from Angola. They hated Angola because they had, the They weren't in the economy of the Marxist government of Dos Santos, right? They have a new president now, but so they didn't like their oil. Plenty of oil there, just don't want it. I don't want to. There's the word. You know they have oil in Mississippi. Are you aware of that?
About in the Gulf Coast area, or
I'm talking about in the Delta and other places. They're black people who have oil-rich land, and they don't want to see niggas get rich. They've been slant drilling or trying to get people off the land. They don't want to pay them. I've known this for 47 years. That black people had oil in Mississippi. They don't want the black people to get any money out of it. Why wouldn't they have oil in Mississippi? The Mississippi Delta, all that silt and deposit, and that's a natural place they should be. That why aren't they looking in the Arkansas Delta? Who lives there? What do they look like?
Like us.
Why is there oil in Louisiana's Delta? Right? But there's none in Mississippi or Arkansas. Ask yourself that. Why wouldn't that gas field, isn't it plausible that gas, that's because there's oil and gas in Oklahoma and in East Texas. Isn't that not too far from Mississippi and West Tennessee and eastern Arkansas? And isn't there oil in parts of Arkansas on the western side of the state, but they've never tried to find it on the eastern side? Have you ever wondered why?
Wow.
Are you understanding me?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
We don't want you to have anything. This country's economy is set up to cheat, defraud, rip off, screw, and dispossess black people in every way you think about it. Why would they? And that's their land. And it used to be 90% of the land in the Delta belonged to black people, and the white people stole 90% of it from them. And they fight to get it back. There's all kinds of stuff in that soil there, but do you really want black folks to have it? Do you really think a stupid, pig-headed, racist white Mississippian wants to see black people in Mississippi have money? You know what black people do when they have money? Aside from buy expensive stuff, they have big families. When a black dude becomes a big artist, he can't just have kids. He want to have kids about 15, 20 people. How many kids Jackie Wilson have? How many kids El DeBarge have? How many kids Freeman J. Hawkins have? These people, when black folk have money, they've done everything to prevent us from procreating because they would be outnumbered. Look, I'm single. Do you think I don't like kids? I like animals. I like kids. I got a cat up here. I told you the cat is watching me. He's got an attitude. You don't think I'd have like 6, 7 kids if I could afford it?
Right.
My family, I love kids. To me, the homeschool, I have enough money to teach up my kids at home. Wouldn't have to deal with the predators in the school.
Right.
So they've done everything to deny black people resources. They've even encouraged other races of people to have kids in this country. As long as black folks were boarding ours and 1 out of 9 ended up in foster care getting raped by them or somebody, like Laquan McDonald was gang raped by Mexicans. That's part of this problem. I'd be high too. You had to hear the Frito Bandito song as somebody's raping you and they get paid by the state. I want a blunt too. In fact, I'd try to put one in my ear while one's in my mouth. Have it ready. Another one burnt out. That dude's upset. Look, so I don't believe them. There's nothing that these people say. They say Jesus is white, he's black. If they say America's a free society, they say it's not. Right? If they say Hillary's straight, I know she's not. If they say Obama's a hero to black people, he can't be. They don't tell the truth. Why should I take or even consider anything from someone who hates my guts, what they have to say? Well, especially without me verifying it. Why would they tell me the truth anyway if they're against me?
Right.
So I don't think that the world has a shortage of oil. I think that they want these artificial things where they can charge people with scarcity. After all, think about it. What's happening right now? Saudi Arabia is going broke. Why? Saudi Arabia is pumping oil and selling it below the price to hurt the Iranians. You know how much they're paying for a gallon of gas in Libya when I was there?
How much?
20 cents.
Wow. 20 cents a gallon.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Do you really think that it costs 4, 5, 6? That's somebody's hustle.
Right.
That's somebody's hustle. Electricity is free from the sun. Let me share something with you. I'm gonna just break this down to you. You know, I do gardening in my backyard.
Okay.
Do you realize, my friend? I even saw something. I've been talking about this for years, but do you know that every day you produce up to a liter of piss or more?
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware that some of the very first public transportation systems, in particular in San Francisco, were powered by ammonia? If you leave your piss in a bottle for so many days, it turns into ammonia. Do you realize that everybody could piss and save their piss if they had ammonia-based engines, which is hydrogen? They say, well, we haven't found the hydrogen. That's bullshit. They've had hydrogen engines over 120 years. Literally, you could pay winos on Beale Street to sell their piss, and it could be turned into ammonia to power vehicles. We don't need, and it's renewable. It won't pollute the atmosphere. And literally everybody can have a job just pissing.
You know, San Francisco got that human feces problem. That made me think about something. What you just said, they spending $9 million to clean up the city. Why not use the human waste to create energy, then free energy?
Not just free energy. You can make bricks, building material. We have a problem with doo-doo. My thing is, you didn't have a problem with in your guts. I mean, you should be able to work with it. Oh, look, urine, for example. Pee. I'd like to talk about pee for a few minutes here.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, that is the best fertilizer, one of the best fertilizers in the world, and it doesn't damage the environment, the urine. Do you realize that a lot of the problem we're having with the algae blooms in Florida and other places, that they're using commercial fertilizer that's destroying our water system, killing our fish, killing us, and people could use pee. In fact, literally, you could have everybody pissing. Everybody that piss would get a job, get a piss dividend. Save your piss the same way people used to collect milk and then come in to collect pee, or have someone working and just pee all day. I know that sounds crazy, but shoot, it beats selling dope. It beats robbing people. Can you imagine being a piss collector? In Africa, they have nights where people collect the doo-doo. In Korea, they save the doo-doo and use it. If you eat Chinese rice, and Asia, they use doo-doo to farm. Yes, they do. I've been all over. Yeah, they're called honey pots. They're big ceramic pots full of doo-doo.
Oh, God. Really?
And they put doo-doo in the fields. And that's how if you go to, I've been to Korea, the fields of rice are so green, they're using doo-doo. So
like
if you get
human doo-doo, like human feces?
Absolutely. In fact, before the people get grossed out, because black people are fake. I hate fake black. So many fake niggas, I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania Dutch. Everybody, I got to get Pennsylvania Dutch. The Dutch people, the so-called Pennsylvania Dutch in Western Pennsylvania, they use doo-doo. They use human doo-doo. We will buy products with white people's doo-doo in it, but it's inconceivable for us to use black piss and not have to pay a whole lot for gasoline. Now, that's a fool-ass person for me. Why is a white person's doo-doo so much better than my pee if I benefit from it?
Yeah. I hear what you say. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me, but I would rather buy things from white people's mouths because they don't mind doing stuff. I know I get some sisters, the same one that buys weeds and nails from the Asians, will find some way to make white people's doo-doo better than black people's pee. That's do you know you get stuff from Europe? If you get European crackers or the Danish cookies, they don't know the Europeans are using piss. Piss is the fastest growing natural fertilizer being used in Europe. When you get European products from Europe, the old country, it's white folks pee, but you'll pay for that. But I'm not even talking about eating. I'm talking about something that goes in the gas tank, something that doesn't touch your mouth or your plate. And I know folk are all pissed off. I don't want to hear this. It's nasty, right? And yet these same people, I saw something, Heard. I got to tell you about it.
Okay.
Heard, I put it up on my wall on Facebook. Have you heard about these white folks selling chocolates that are shaped like people's anuses?
Mm-mm. Wow.
They made a mold out of people's behinds, buttholes, and they've got chocolate they fit into. They're selling it.
Oh my God. Okay.
I bet you I can get some rappers that buy it. Will they swear by it? And if I see Kanye, you're doing that, I'm gonna be on your show talking. I don't know. But back to some news, man. And I just want to make that clear that everyone that urinates, in fact, in Africa, there are some young people who've created electrical batteries powered by urine. Wow. They can get 24 hours worth of power from a generator using 1 liter of piss.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So instead of hating your pee, love it. I mean, use it. And so-called limited resources. Why put the pee in the water to mess with the fish? I put my pee out and it killed the ones that put too much pee in the water in the soil and it killed the worms. The worms, I can't take this. I'm not right. But why are you putting it in the water? This is the white people's stupid way, the wasteful way. Now white folks are leading the way to Satan piss and doo-doo.
Mm.
Now that they're running out of stuff, why are we copying them? Why can't we save and use some of this stuff? In fact, the doo-doo can be turned into methane. All that stuff that you see down in Hurricane Florence, down in North Carolina, there should not be pig poop pits. Those farmers should be subsidized to make those pits to collect natural gas off of the pig doo-doo.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Everybody who has to smell the stench of that should get a break. When I'm in Ohio, I can smell the pig doo-doo miles away when the wind blows. That can be natural gas that doesn't pollute, right?
Right.
Why not? You're going to make all these pigs, the pigs are going to poop. If you put a value on it, instead of it being waste, but being a product, okay, that's jobs. That's cheaper price for fuel, right? That's renewable. That won't mess with the atmosphere or whatever. It won't put an ozone hole. After all, it's not killing us like it's getting ill. I mean, it's just, why not? What's wrong with that? Anyway.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not mad at nobody. Also, I want to say, if you got any people in the D.C. area, I'm trying to move some tickets for this film that talks about people's votes being suppressed back in the 2016 election. And they can write me if they want a ticket. I have an Eventbrite. If you look for Eventbrite, it's in the D.C. area. Okay. The tickets are free, but I'm asking people for a donation up to 10. If they come with $1, I'm trying to put that to subsidize what we're doing with the Rebecca Project. So, it's not like I'm tripping off of it, but if they have something, donate that. Because, brothers, we work hard, Brother Hurt. We're doing stuff, and 99% of it does not have any compensation at all. Zero.
Right. Yeah.
In fact, we got to get to the HBCUs, and there's something else I want to talk to you about, but because we're going to segue to that. But my brother, it's wrandysshort@gmail.com. Don't put my number up there, but put my email is best. So, yeah, because I get so many calls from bill collectors, they won't catch me anyway. It'll be better for them. Yeah, just send me an email. Yeah,
okay, see the email. I know the struggle is real, like you said, Dr. Short.
But it's called One Vote, and it shows how in 2016 they were stopping people from voting. It's going to be Saturday, September 29th, from about 2 to about 4:30 p.m. At the museum in Washington, D.C. That's 555 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, 20001. And like I said, get in touch with me if you're going to come. I would like you to donate. If you have a group, shoot, I got like 100 tickets. So I don't know. If you got 100 people, if y'all gave me $1 a piece, that would be fine. I'd use that for some other work I got to do for Sister Elaine. If they do better, cool. I think that's reasonable, right? Imagine ask someone, everybody's got $1. If you got two, fine. If you like folks doing Raising Hell to remind black folks they're trying to take their votes, that's cool too. Now, so wrandyshort@gmail.com. If you know someone who lives in the DC area, have them reach out. And something else I want to just announce so they'll know, we have a group of us. We are black nationalists, but we are Christian. Yes, we black Jesus freaks. My Jesus has dreads, so at least the afro. I don't know who the little sissy with the blue eyes is. He's perpetrating. I wouldn't follow him anyway. He's probably trying to take you to a bathhouse. Anyway, whatever. But we're coming together on Saturdays. We're trying to do the whole Sabbath thing since that's when Hebrews are getting down. Tentatively, in fact, they can get in touch, wrandyshow@gmail if they're interested, wrandyshow@gmail. We had our first meeting. We're working with several groups. We're working with Reverend Fauntroy, who's the incoming pastor of New Dimensions Church, which is, and Fauntroy is the person that got the Haitians out of the concentration camps, as well as been fighting against the crackers in Miami since the 70s. I'm also working with Bishop John Lewis III, who is the head of the African Orthodox Church. African Orthodox Church. He's based in Atlanta. And we're also working with another minister. And I want to make this clear. This is not for coons. If you believe that God says sit on your ass and take abuse from white people and don't stand up, we're not the group for you. We don't want everybody. We're looking for folks who want to have a radical faith that, one, you believe in salvation and grace and all that, but you want to fight for justice here and now.
Right.
We're looking for people that will join us to look at several thrusts. If they're foreign, we want their help because we got to put together a committee, because I've had people ask me, and it's from my part of Africa where this genocide's going on. Damn, I got to do something. So that's one group. But we also have a sister who, her name is Sister Siketi. We're looking at finding a way to create employment for as many of our people as they can through training people who are aging out of foster care, opioids, you name it. We're looking at getting government money and state money and other monies to do that. The Sisters of Wiz, I'm partnering her with other entrepreneurs so we won't just talk to people about faith and eating or whatever. We're going to actually do something so people can. So that's part of our project. Let me run it down to the number, because, it'll be sort of like a devotional, but it's 2 parts. We'll give you some Bible, and we'll talk about that stuff. That's very important because I believe in that. And then we look to have, as a second component, to have a business person or an activist or a person with a community concern that we want people in a local area to support or to know about, or if nothing else, we pray for them and let people know that let's say someone called us from Detroit. If we can do something around water in Detroit, which is something I want, I was talking to Mama Kim Weston, and I'm trying to see if I can get a way to get my friend, if we can get a project together. In fact, let me just say this to you. There's a possibility of there being a movie or documentary being done on all the living divas of Motown, minus Diana Ross. I mean, I like, but no, we want the real ones that, that didn't have anyway, we won't get into that. But if I can work with them, one of the things that we want to do is make a charity. If I'm going to work with this, something be done about the water for Detroit and Flint. I got family in Detroit. I don't even know them. I know they're there. The gentleman that Aretha recorded for us before she went to Columbia and then to Atlantic. It's like my family from Mississippi that's in Detroit. That grieves me that people I'm connected to don't have water to drink. That just, I ain't talking about Africa, that's right here.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're calling ourselves, and we're going to create a foundation so folks know how to do all this kind of stuff, be in touch, because we got to do something. I'm sick of these churches. I'm sick of nigger preachers. They're never going to talk about here and now. They're Masons, they're Greeks, they're everything but people that believe in the word. They won't help our people. Trust me, I have looked and tried to find where can I join and partner with people. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to be the leader. I can be a leader among leaders. But anyway, we're calling ourselves the Free African American Society in honor of the Free African Society that started the AME Church, which went down after that. And our goal is liberation and salvation versus, oh, well, when you die, you go up to heaven. No, why not have some stuff now? It's interesting that no one says you're going to get some booty when you go to heaven. There's some things that gets right. You'll get that here. I mean, because put you in a new body, what you going to do with this? Ooh, right. Our number, the number for our line, and we'll probably be doing it over blog, but they can reach out to me. They have my email, wranchard@gmail.com. But it is 563-999-2090. 563-999-2060. And it's Eastern Standard Time. Presently, we're going from we did it from 12 to about 1:30. We may bump that up to 11. But if you're curious, write me, because I'm going to have my conversation with our staff, and we'll know. But tentatively, it's 12 to 2. We may put it, but then again, we may put it to 11 to 1 something. But just reach out to me. We'll have that published. And it was cool. It didn't take too long. And we're looking for fighters. If you're tired of going and everything is otherworldly, escapist, they don't want to stand up, they don't want to speak up, they don't deal with real issues, they've got to bend down and kiss the penis ring of LGBTQ, which is like, God, why not do that at the bathhouse? Why do it in church? There are places, if you want to be, wild, you could go. Why do that in the sacred space? If you're tired of some of this stuff, we think you might like us. And even if you don't want to join, we're looking to have both a religious component and a social action component. So if you're already happy where you are, stay where you are. This is not like Obama and your doctors with Obamacare. I really do mean if you're in a good place, stay there. But if you're not happy, or if you want to do more than what you're doing where you are, give us a holler. Give us a holler. And again, it's Saturdays. And I'm going to just go ahead. Maybe I'll come on at 11. In fact, I'll make that commitment to be on 11. But just so that you know, so reach out to me if you don't catch me. Actually, leave my number on there, Ron Hurd. If they're interested, they can call me. Yeah, leave my phone number. Right. But they may want to text me. But again, that's 563-999-2090. And everybody on the call, they was mad. Everybody was mad, and which was beautiful. We're tired of folks who are happy about everything. We're tired of our children getting killed. We're tired of our people being poisoned. We're tired of all this. We really are. And we can, too, do something. In fact, that segues right into an issue that I discussed. There is a very perverse and corrupt man by the name of Harry L. Williams, who is the president of the Thurgood Marshall College Education Fund, which used to be called the United Negro College Fund, which was established in the middle 1940s to help secure, protect historically black colleges and universities, as well as create a pool of monies for deserving students. This man, Harry L. Williams, is the protege of a man by the name of Erskine Bowles, who was the man who ran education under Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was not a friend of historically black colleges and universities, but most of us don't know that because we were told that he's the first black president because the little rapist played the saxophone on Arsenio's show. And by the way, did he do a damn thing to help Arsenio get another show or anything after he became president? Hell to the no.
Mm.
Going right along, you can look up Harry L. Williams, and you'll find that he's called for, and he's hiding behind being efficient and responsible and accountable, that we need to merge and close. Merge some of the black colleges and close the rest. I want to say this to you. These people have never kept a damn promise to blacks or Indians in 500 years. When they take something away, it's gone, nigger. And it's not coming back. If we let them destroy our schools, if we let so-called successful black people dupe us into thinking that they give a damn about us, and let them destroy our schools, and then when we get mad, they'll point the finger at the white folks, that's the kind of scam that successful blacks do or coons do. They hide their hands. They work to destroy us alongside races and then duck because they don't want to face the wrath of their own people. This gentleman, Dr. Harry L. Williams, I must remind people, was the president of Delaware State University, where he stole money to the extent that certain young people didn't have any money for school because this man was spending the government's money on his own personal needs. To add insult to injury, and I hope if anyone knows any young women that went to Delaware State University, if any of them knows anyone that was harassed, abused, accosted for intercourse, or had intercourse of age of consent or otherwise, to come forward, their story needs to be heard. We need to have all the predators who run these HBCUs, I don't care what frat or sorority they're in, they need to be dispossessed of those jobs, and only people who care about black youth and black faculty and black staff should be working at these institutions. Okay? I'm just saying that. Are you working with me? This man's aim, Harry L. Williams, is to get with that wicked woman whose name is Betsy DeVos. She should be called Ditsy DeVos. Her brother, Eric Prince, the white killer mercenary who owned Blackwater, the ones that was stacking up the naked Arab men, taking pictures of their privates and buttholes and making them do all this nasty stuff and having dogs bark and bite at people's genitals, right? Remember that? Abu Ghraib?
Mm-hmm.
His sister's running education for black people in America. She hates black people. She hasn't seen a black school or a black serving public school that she didn't want to close. So put this ditzy racist bitch with this coon that looks like the Easter Bunny with no ears on K2, who hates black people, except for when they're freebies and then he don't have to marry them. This is what they're saying. He plans to become Williams Trump, who's always taking stuff from poor people, even government workers. He wants to be Trump's advisor on HBCUs. So go ahead and tell him, close them all down. There's a man named John Williams, who was Obama's HBCU policy director, who felt that HBCUs aren't important anymore. Just to let you know, this didn't start with Trump. Obama started it. Obama started saying that we don't need HBCUs, his administration. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you. Yes, sir.
This started with Obama. Obama refused to meet with the black college presidents in 8 years. At least Trump, for a cynical photo op, did meet with them, and Trump gave them some peanuts, $45 million additional dollars. It's just the opposite. When Obama first got in, he cut $90 million to all the HBCUs within the first few months of him being in office.
Mm-hmm.
Trump gave effectively, it's true. I mean, because 45 goes into 90 two times. Trump gave twice as much to blacks as what Obama took away. Actually, not twice as much. Damn. Obama gave nothing, and Trump gave 45 million, which is not enough. It should have been 450 million. It should have been $1 billion to the black colleges. They should have gotten it, right? He can give it to Space Force. He can give billions to the Pentagon. Why couldn't he give a few billion to HBCUs? But all right. So before you get nostalgic for Obama, understand that he started it by taking roughly $500 million away from black schools. Under Obama, they refused to increase the amount of Pell Grant monies that could be given. Obama changed the requirements on it, making it hard for people whose families had income issues and credit issues and previous convictions. Obama did this. It hurt black colleges. It hurt black youth.
Wow.
Just so people think about Obama didn't do nothing for us. He was missing for Aretha. He's missing for our schools. Even this is why the black college presidents ran to the White House. After 8 years of Obama, they were ready to try anything. Now, I want to say this to you. I need everybody to share with everybody. Harry L. Williams needs to be removed. The whole Thurgood Marshall thing, the whole board should be questioned. They should be removed to bring this dude in. Anybody could have checked this man's background. And that's what you do when you put someone over that. People go through more. They even check your piss if you want to work at McDonald's in some places, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did this man get to be president of the school? And I mean, president of college fund without doing this. In fact, I need to remind you, I'm looking at the complaint right now. The United States District Court for the District of Delaware. Look this up. It's Jahi Issa, Jahiissa versus Delaware State University. Case number 14-168, LLPS. It's an amended complaint. One of the things that you'll find is that Dr. Harry L. Williams allowed and did on purpose had 3,000 books on Black and African history destroyed. When Hitler does it, he's a monster. He's a barbarian. He is a racist. When Harry L. Williams does it, we put him over our entire black school system on higher education. Are we crazy as a people? He has a buddy, Dr. Alan Sessions, another coon. He's been president of Delaware State University, and he was also president of UDC right here in Washington, D.C., where I am. He got fired, I think, in 2014. Their name, if you look him up, Alan Sessions, they said he was fired without cause. What does that mean legally? It means they had no reason to keep him. Everybody hated him. They universally wanted him out. What did this monster Sessions do? Sessions had, when he arrived at UDC, demanded that the bookstore, and UDC is a predominantly black school in Washington, the Public University for Washington, D.C., established by a woman by the name of Martilla Minor, a white woman from Connecticut. And out of this school that was established back during the Civil War, out of it came the D.C. Teachers College, and out of it eventually it became UDC. A white woman who was run out of Connecticut for teaching black girls came to D.C. because she's determined that black folks have equal opportunity in education as best she could. God bless that Becky. Minor. These people expand on her dream and create UDC. This bastard, Alan Sessions, becomes president of UDC, a predominantly black school, and demands that the bookstore stop selling books about Africa and black people. Nothing on black people was to be in the bookstore. You tell me that doesn't sound insane.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have a history and social science department. So effectively, you get rid of the books. All the books have to disappear because he doesn't want people worrying about black people at a black school. This nigga's a barbarian. But let me tell you something else he did. William Sessions, I believe at Delaware State, or one of the schools he worked at. It's one or the other. It makes a difference. I know who did it. He had all of the books and the Africana Studies department destroyed. If a white man did it, he's a racist, he's a Klansman, he's a Nazi, he's a white supremacist. When a black person does it, but they say, oh, he's a very effective manager, he's a no-nonsense person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't stand Coons. They'll find some way to make it legit. Understand something. There was a white philosopher, not that I like white philosophy, but Coons do, so let me use something that people understand. It says, where they destroy books, they destroy people. If you can get black college presidents and black educators to destroy books, they'll destroy black lives.
Mm.
Let me give you this case number again. Case number 14-168-LPS. United States District Court for the District of Delaware, Jahi Issa versus Delaware State University, Harry L. Williams individually in his official capacity, and others. This dude had books destroyed. What kind of person destroys black books? Answer me that, brother. How does someone like this do a crime like this? If it's not unlawful, it's completely unethical and cruel. So he's in the pocket, and what you need to know is that there are other people who've gotten money and support from the Koch brothers and Soros and other people who hate black people's guts, who want these schools to be destroyed so they can do whatever they want to us. I know all sorts of bad things I can tell you about HBCUs. I grew up on the campus of Howard University. My cousin was president of Morehouse. My other cousin was president of ITC. My other cousin was president of Coppin State. I got, my cousin was dean of the chapel for Hampton University. And I can go on and on about deans and professors and college presidents. My father was the Pentecostal chaplain, lead chaplain for 41 years at Howard University. One of my cousins is chair of the Department of Psychology. My other cousin's chair of the Department of Sociology. I'm not boasting. I'm only trying to say I got some hell of a relationship with HBCUs. My family is among the newly freed black families that established St. Paul's College down in Lawrenceville, Virginia. The school that Umar Johnson said he wanted to buy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to, I have a cousin who's chairman of the board of St. Paul's College. I have a cousin that was chairman of the board of Payne College in Augusta, Georgia. I come from a family with a lot of educators. I know all about the bad things in HBCUs. And I'm going to say this to you. Damn, we need those schools. They don't need to be merged. They need to be expanded. What most people need to know, Adam Clayton Powell, the coolest nigga that ever walked the halls of Congress, my favorite congressman who got more done by himself than practically 50 members of Congress and the Senate right now, Adam Clayton Powell.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did. And he did it my way, getting folks dirt and threatening people. That's how you do politics in D.C. For all the folks that don't like the way I talk about stuff, gossipy and all that kind of stuff, it's called D.C. joning. It's an industry, okay? Everybody's got something. D.C. has shit talking, the trash talking black people that know folks dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you want to get someone to open someone's store and they won't do something, tell them, I know about that kid you molested. I bet you open the door now. Why do you say so, right? You have to get something. Because it's so dirty here. It's a dirty city. Politics is dirty. White nationalism is dirty. White supremacy is dirty. Their white system is dirty. If you don't know how to sling mud, you can't make it.
Mm.
Are you understanding me? So I saw some notes when they were complaining. I don't like it. Well, you should try living here. Try living here and you want something. People won't give it to you no matter how you do it. So you say, you know what? I know you're screwing the janitor down there because I saw you come out. So, okay, well, okay, that's how it works. Okay, this is why they can't deal with Trump. Trump be coming at his silly and digging it. He doing stuff like a black person, calling people out, naming stuff. He's doing politics like, a white nigger.
Mm.
Like a lot of what he's doing. Some of it I do like. But when he announces and tells people stuff like bitch ass Ted Cruz, did you hear Ted Cruz supports the cop that shot Botham Jean? To hell with Ted Cruz.
Wow.
I hope he loses. I hope Beto beats his ass.
Mm.
And speaking of that, did you hear, if you're down in Florida, as much as I don't like the Democratic Party, and I know that the black dude Gillum is a promosexual, but that little racist ass man he's running against, who's probably going to win anyway, please make it a good showing. Make that white dude at least need some X-Lax and some Metamucil for a couple hours until they get the final tally. Don't let him walk in there with all the little nasty stuff that someone called Obama, and forgive me, I don't want to defend Obama, but when they're attacking Obama and they're trying to get at us, I have to kind of get into it. And they're just going after him as an individual. That's okay. I'll sit back and watch. Sort of like when, what's her name? Roseanne Barr went after Valerie Jarrett. Mm-hmm. That was cool. Mm-hmm. But don't go after all of us. Then you have to make me fight for the little half-breed, magic, tragic Negro. Now, we called Obama an Islamic nigger or something. Someone gave him money to call to F that Islamic nigger. And I'm like, you know what? He wants to keep the money. He doesn't deserve to be senator or anything. In fact, they need to find something he did. I'm just hoping that he messed with a kid or someone and someone's got the video. If you got it, call me. I'll put it out. Okay. In fact, I have more dirt for y'all. There's someone I think we're going to see disappear. I understand better. I had it confirmed that Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, he is gay, and he's big time gay. Long time he hangs a group of racists, fudge packing, bone smuggling, a mudslide, white racist sissies in Alabama. They're the ones that won't do nothing about hookworm, probably because they want a worm hooked up in them. They probably think it's a good thing, especially if it's black. They don't even know what it is, right? Mm. This is what's going on. So Sessions, they have Sessions. They know his dirt. There's a woman they've been trying to kill. Poison, I got her name somewhere. She knows about Sessions and all the weird parties and stuff they have. And I came on your show before and told you there's something wrong with Sessions. I'm sorry, in D.C., when you see people do certain stuff over and over, it's like telltale sign that somebody, had their tongue in somebody's butt cheeks or something, because it's not, you have a job to do what the president tells you, and you keep going against it. And I think he doesn't like weed because people that smoke weed don't give it up as much as people on opioids. See how long it took for him to get the opioids, but he was just on weed. Mm-hmm. Probably somebody told him no that like to smoke, and he's never forgiven them. No, sisters are petty like that, right? So Sessions is a punk. Sessions Sessions is a clique of racist white guys down in Montgomery and Birmingham, and they're the power in the state. You're not surprised by this. You're not surprised, okay? A bunch of racist sissies, some J. Edgar Hoovers, without the negligee and lingerie on, right? Same difference because they don't like us and they're hurting us. And I want to mention, because, forgive me for jumping around, you heard that the Archbishop of the Roman Catholic Church has been sitting in on the trial in favor of the killer cops for Laquan McDonald's. He's in favor of the cop that shot that boy 16 times.
Wow.
When I see black folks that are Catholic, I usually think that person's confused, okay? First and foremost, anytime black Protestant preachers can't keep their drawers on, don't tell me because you got a little white thing on your neck that you're not going to try to put something else on your other neck. I don't believe that. So telling someone to be celibate for life and have no money, it's not going to happen. Someone's going to screw somebody. So, the nuns are getting that too. You walk around with dresses down your ankle your whole life, your thing can't even breathe. They'll be the first one to give you something, shut the doors. So we know that whole Roman Catholic thing is shallow. We know that the Pope started the slave trade and the invasion of Africa and the Americas. They're natural enemies of black people. That's not even Christianity. I don't care. If you believe in Christ in the Catholic Church, the Pope is just a man, and half the time he's not a straight man. And if he is a straight man, half of his time is spent covering up for folk who rape children. Okay, that's real talk. Okay. In fact, it's gotten so bad. You heard about the priests, like 300 priests that have raped at least 1,000 children up in Philadelphia. It's gotten so hot. In fact, it's hot down here. Now they're opening it up. It's finally going to hit Baltimore because they're now calling for it to open up. You have to understand that Maryland is a completely Catholic-dominated state. That's why you never hear about any priest scandals down here because they have everything on lockdown. The longest-serving state Senate president in American history is one of the heads of the Knights of Columbus, a man by the name of Mike Miller, who helped get same-sex marriage and other stuff passed in Maryland, right? So that's how strong. Maryland, this is a Catholic colony. I know I come from the little white folks that probably the molesters running everything. I didn't pick them. You can't pick your heritage. You can't pick who raped your ancestors. You just have to deal with it. You got the name. You even got the look. And even they know that when I had a situation, I know who you are. You one of our people that ran away. You guys are arrogant. Anyway, I'll just tell you, you're going to start hearing about these priests that rape the black kids at long last. Oh my God, how sweet it is. We shall overcome. I can't wait until it comes out that these priests. In fact, you never hear about any priests raping nobody in New Orleans. Do you really think in freaky New Orleans that those priests aren't down there raping little Creole kids too? You really think they can hold off for the black kids that they can do the white kids? They did the Indian kids. Why not the black kids? And see, black folks are largely not Protestant. Largely not Catholic. That would just really mess them up. In fact, the bishop of the church in Maryland, because they're worried about this sex thing, they're now talking about racism. But you know how they're talking about racism? They're talking about including Hispanics and beatifying Lady Guadalupe Hidalgo. They're doing everything except deal with the black and white issue. And on one hand, they're talking about bringing more Hispanics in, right, and making them feel a part and doing the mass in one language. And yet you've got the second largest diocese, or should I say the third largest diocese of the Catholic Church, and the head bishop is there sanctifying police murdering black people. If you're a black Catholic and you can put up with the boring ass music, the uninspired preaching and all the weird stuff that they do, and a service, religion is so weak you only need to go when you're born, when you're christened, married, when you die. If that's something that inconsequential, you shouldn't even be a part of. In fact, you wiped your behind more than you've gone to church, and you call yourself in a religion? Please. Same church that supported slavery, segregation. You know about that war in Ethiopia when Mussolini went over there and was killing all the the Ethiopians?
Right.
Well, the Catholic Pope blessed them doing genocide in the Ethiopians.
Wow.
It's whether the Pope blessed them doing genocide in Angola and in Mozambique and Guinea-Bissau. Don't you realize that the Archbishop for New Orleans could have said something about the black folks in Katrina if they had mattered? If it were white Catholics that were rich, because they managed to save the French Quarter. And what happened during New Orleans? Remember right after Katrina and all the black folk were being eaten by alligators and being called looters, trying to get clean water to drink, and they packed in the Superdome and let the toilets overflow with doo-doo and lied and said they were raping everybody and they were shooting people, right? What did they do? They had Gay Pride Day. Yes, they did. Right there in New Orleans, they had Mardi Gras. They shut down white sisters, had a good time as black folks died. And the priests and all were there dancing with them. And that's in the section with the big cathedral where they didn't say, hey, look, let's honor the dead. Well, fuck those niggas. Flush it again. I hope we have some tidy bowl left, right? So this Catholic Church, yes, the Archbishop and them, the nuns, Mother Teresa, they got everybody but the flying nun up in there backing up the cops killing our people in Chicago. You didn't know that. And so, a Catholic killed him. Catholic Mexicans raped him. And now the Catholic Church is sanctifying the boy's execution. They can have that. I don't need that. Them, the Jesuits, all of them, they can all go to hell. They're going anyway. I don't believe in no real Jesus. All this is weird stuff that they are. And I'm sorry. My family used to be Catholic. They got smart. And if you're offended Catholic, good. Look at what they've done. Look at the genocide in Congo. The largest Catholic black population in the world is in Congo, is being slaughtered. Church could say something about it. They didn't say nothing. The Catholic Church actively participated in the genocide that's gone on in Rwanda and in Burundi and in Congo and in the Central African Republic and in what's going on in Cameroon right now. Huh? And where are these people? And the mass murder of blacks in Brazil. And the murder of people in Venezuela. These people have never been. The Catholic Church hierarchy has always been anti-black. They're never on our side except when it's strategically in their purpose to get something. They are not for black people. Folks need to stop thinking, shoot, be something else. You get a good education in Catholic school. They brainwash your ass. Nuns hitting on you because they can't get some. Nuns always being mean to everybody because they ain't had none. They're all mad and frustrated. They need to give those priests some Viagra instead of communion. Let them get busy. Make everybody happy. Going to Catholic church, you're trying to stay awake. It's like, damn, if God is this boring, I don't see how he made no solar system. Stars couldn't stay awake. Right? That's boring. So anyway, the other thing I was going to talk to you about, brother, is the South Africa thing. Are you noticing that the black folks are like beginning the trip? And it's, Trump and them have put their mouth in that. I think that that's going to backfire. I do think that Malema and these other people are going to get tired. And you're going to see some real issues happen in South Africa. With the Chinese moving, I mentioned this earlier, you might find a rare situation where people help black people, not because they like black people, but because they want to fight a group of white people that they can't stand anymore. Because the Chinese want to be dominant on the African continent. And the more they bend, I guess they're learning the African-American story. You can't bend enough to put, these people are not the folks that you can cooperate with. They hate cooperation. They just want total control and domination and dispossession of everyone. If you don't go for that, then they want to destroy you, even if you're in your own spot, like Botham John getting blown away in his own home. They're going to find some way to make him wrong for being murdered. Oh, and I had to say again, if you're watching that and you see other things that are going on around the country, what you see, and you may see it pick up in the next couple of weeks, is the Democrats are doing everything they can to get people to turn out. And like I said, in Florida, please turn out and vote. It's not working in Maryland. I just want to let you know, what's his name? Ben Jealous has not excited people. The people are not coming out to vote for Ben Jealous. He's behind. They raised so much money. for that white dude that looks like he looks like a gerbil. I'm serious.
Larry Hogan.
Yeah, he looks like a gerbil with some fungus that ate all the hair off, so it's like a shaved down gerbil. Larry Hogan. He's ahead by like double digits now. And see, Ben Jealous should be ashamed, but you see, you got to have more than just pull out what's his name, Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the media hasn't paid a lot of attention. He can't get nothing. I know he's kind of shocked. You know, I'm mulatto and Jewish. I matter, right? And man, we had a mulatto. In fact, the Obama effect. Any new light-skinned politician that sounds like they're too hoity-toity, too aloof, too clinical, just the facts, like it's Dragnet, black folks aren't going to be feeling them. They've already been fucked by Obama.
Right.
You're never going to trust, and especially if they find out your mama's white, so they have any pictures of them. Oh, and I got great gossip. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
And the sisters that don't like it, brothers don't like it, choke on it. You know, I had been on Darren Muhammad's show.
Oh, yes, Taylor City.
That, right?
Yeah.
And I was on Darren's show saying to Darren, notice how Ben Jealous has a wife, but, you know, God, I don't know which linen closet he keeps her in, but you never see that broad. What's up with that? I mean, you're running for governor, no disrespect. You got to produce somebody that you're sleeping with, even if it's a man. To have a woman and hide her, I mean, what kind, you know, is this some kind of another beard situation? Well, so I was saying, hey, Ben, where that woman at? Ben, where is she, man? Let us see her. Let's look at her. Look at her. Anyway, I found out Ben's wife left him in 2015. Quiet. I mean, you think that hit the news, right?
Right.
No, see what I'm saying? Everything about some of these people, you can't learn nothing. They don't want you to know anything, understand anything. No, why she leave? And are the kids with you or with her? And y'all weren't married. Well, y'all married for a minute, but like, wow, right? And so, anyway, that was very interesting that a lot of people didn't know he was divorced. He's running, and he didn't let anybody. You can't hide a divorce, fool.
No, you can't.
That's a public record. Someone can go look that thing up. What you trying to get over there for? Why don't you want to mention that? And by the way, there was one picture of him. It must have been an old picture. Him and his wife smiling on it. I think he must have given us some money. I'll give you a finder's fee if you do post it with me. There was this one thing with him and his wife. That's the first time I've seen them like together in anything that's kind of public. I'm not saying they're not pictures together. I'm not saying they're not in love, but they're definitely not together now.
Right.
That's not helping him. And he's running, and he's counting on getting black women's votes. And, you know, he got good hair and he's tall, and he's not like, he didn't do what Obama did. Obama was obedient, even if he didn't appreciate it, you know. Hold on. I got asked a question. Forgive me for changing the subject. I'll come back to Obama being obedient. And they asked me, was Michelle Obama a man? I'm tired of people asking that, but I did have an answer. I said, if Michelle Obama were a man, he would be in love with her. That's how I know she's a woman. Okay? Stop messing with her. Okay? Stop messing with Michelle. Okay? So that Obama was obedient. They told him, you can't have that white girl. You can't have a light-skinned one. You got to get in the words of Eddie Murphy, you got to get a Bush bitch sister, somebody that everybody knows is black.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and if nothing else, everybody knows from Michelle's waistline, that's a black woman. That's not a black man. Never been a black man. Never going to be one. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a serious sister. You don't have to like Michelle's politics to like her physique.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's stacked. I mean, that's not a brick house. That's like a plantation. That's a Georgian mansion. Shit. George Washington wish he lived there. I mean, he'd leave Mount Vernon. But we just have to all praises to God for Michelle. We pray there's some consciousness there. She wants to run for office. And I hope that Michelle is as black as she looks, because so anyway, I was just trying to think, brother, of different things, prepare for some more violence in Ukraine. Trump's going to get us in the war. If y'all notice, the United States, like the Israelis, got the Russians' plane shot down. The Syrians blew up all these Russians. I mean, all this stuff's going on everywhere. In fact, I got to give y'all some international news. Let's get off Africa for a second. First and foremost, a lot of people don't know Yemen, which is on the southwest corner of the Arabian Peninsula. The people there, at least half of them are black. That country is being starved to death by the Saudis, the Israelis, and America and everybody. So that's a lot of black folks suffering. Not all Yemenis, but a significant number of black. And I don't know if you've heard that those folks now have drones. I don't know who's helping them, but they're blowing up stuff in Saudi Arabia. I mean, Saudi Arabia may go down the next few months as the Yemenis get more desperate. I mean, can you imagine this country that everybody thought was like the Flintstones with some camel herders in it?
Mm-hmm.
They're like blowing up tanks and stuff with drones, attacking airports. They've been bombing Aramco. You're talking about oil? The American Arab oil company, Aramco, they were bombing their refineries within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, how long before they start bombing their stuff up in the Shia port? That Saudi Arabia is falling apart. Don't be surprised if there's not real situations occurring there. The Yemeni situation becomes more acute. 5 million children starving. They expect as many as 20 million people to be food insecure between now and the beginning of the year. You need to know something else that will blow your mind. There's all this money that was put in the budget for the 400th anniversary of this black enslavement thing. Even Trump has signed something. Have you heard about the white folk who are now getting DNA tests, trying to get the money being set aside for black people?
No.
It's a dude who's 5% black or 4% black, 6% Indian, who's trying to get a minority deal as a life insurance dealer since he's just 90% white.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready for all of these people to start trying to run this black card after all of our lives being humiliated and insulted and called niggers and all this other stuff. Now, there are going to be all kinds of people calling themselves blacks to get the benefits. Is there precedent for this? Yes. In Brazil, when they began to put money in the budget for affirmative action to remediate the problems of Afro-Brazilians, large numbers of white people started acknowledging their black ancestry to get the benefits. These white people taking these DNA tests are now looking at their marginal whites, or they want to get some extra reach. It's to claim access to money and funds that have been allocated for us. So it's the new robbery will be genetically claiming the one drop rule to enhance someone's white status instead of us being predominantly black and our heritage getting a share of money put aside to remedy our problems. I hope this dude loses the case. I hope a bunch of us come together and start saying, you being part black ain't enough. Which church you belong to, which plantation you came from, which organization, which HBCU did you go to? If you don't have those qualifications, you can't be one. Even the people in Hawaii have such a standard. You have to at least be 30% Hawaiian to get the Hawaiian stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just walk up in there and say, well, my great-great-great-grandmother was Hawaiian. They were on the whaling ship. You remember Moby Trick? Oh, you didn't hear that one. That was a black boat, right? And they're not going to let you do that. We need to do the same thing. In fact, as the census comes up, this is really beautiful. You know that the government now wants to know where people come from. Expect an explosion in people trying to marry you. If you're a black American and you're single, if a whole bunch of people start winking and blinking at you and they're foreign black folks, they're probably trying to make certain they don't have to leave. But just let them know that the United States Citizens Investigation Services will deport you over false marriage. I don't know if you've heard, but all this stuff has been implemented. If you get food stamps, you got SNAP, you get anything, and you're trying to come into the United States and get citizenship, they're working on denying that to you. Being a Black American, as bigoted as the Trump administration can be, it has just added a whole lot of value to having been in the United States a long time as a Black person. Even though they're not trying to necessarily help us, it helps us for people to establish that there's been a presence for some people in America for hundreds of years. And the more recent people who don't want to be connected or have any relationship with us, but want to ride our privilege without dealing with us, they're going to be rudely awakened by the reality that the white folks who let them come over here to play a game on us have decided that they don't like their own game anymore. And now they're going to do a reset. And they would rather have their own Black folks that they can't stand than new Black people that they can't stand. It's different things coming out. Like, did you see the man that was in the border security forces that was a serial killer, that was Spanish speaker?
No. Wow.
Says this dude was out there, he killed about 5 or 6 people that they know of.
Wow.
They began to report crimes committed by Spanish-speaking men like never before, because they're beginning to prepare white people for mass incarceration of Latino men because they're criminalizing them. This is intensifying. And you're going to see a greater effort to lock them up like they've locked Black men up. And this is going to blow their mind because a lot of them get breaks. I see people driving without license tags, drinking with open cans of beer. I've seen Black folks just get stopped walking down the street. Nothing. They're now beginning to expand this. After November, after the election, whether session stays or goes, you're going to see a greater repression of people who are from other countries that are here. It's not that I want people persecuted for being international. That's not what I'm saying, because people read it that way. And I know a lot of Black folks that get all upset about internationals and so forth, but they haven't factored in that if people come to the United States without the desire to in any way work with our community, not like Stokely Carmichael, not like Wilmot Edward Blyden, not like Marcus Garvey, not like what's his name, Arturo Schomburg, who's Puerto Rican. If you're not coming, or Shirley Chisholm, if you're not coming to bond with us, and we're in a white supremacist society, then you necessarily are against us. Do you know that they're using mercenaries, some of them Black, from other countries, to hurt and persecute Black folks in Florida? Did you know that they're using a large number of Caribbean Blacks to harass Blacks, African American Blacks in New York City? Putting them on the police force because they know that these people will not, they don't deal in Black, like, you know. A lot of them have played this game. Played the game. Hey, I ain't with the other people, which I'm not mad at. By the way, you never hear me say they have to be involved in us. No, they don't. I respect that. There's differences in the diaspora. There's differences, there are particularities. I'm not a deep Southerner. I'm not from Mississippi Valley like you. We have some differences. I'm an Upper South Negro. I met people in Tennessee who considered me a Northerner. I met people in Massachusetts that considered me a backward collard green and biscuit-eating nigger from the South who had nothing to do with me, wouldn't even speak to me. There was a difference. I mean, we were all Black. In fact, there were 2 fine girls I used to ride the number 1 bus from the rough part of Massachusetts, Boston area, Mattapan, all the way into Cambridge. And those sisters, in 4 or 5 months, they would never say good morning to me, no matter how many times I spoke to them. I just happened to be walking down 6th Street on Howard's campus with one of my buddies, Eric, talking about how cold and unfriendly Northern Black people were. And the girl, there were two of them. One was dark skinned, one was light skinned. One of the very people I would stand next to that would even turn so I couldn't speak to them. I wasn't groping or harassing them, but we take the bus every day. You know, you can relate to that, right? As a Southerner, right? You speak. I can see if I'm ask you where you work, how much money you make, where your boyfriend live at. But yes, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And she was walking down the street, and I said, "There she goes. It's the one that never speaks to me." She said, "Hi, how you doing?" She's so friendly. I said, "You can't speak to me." Oh, I mean, I rode the bus before, and she says, "I'm so sorry. I'm just used to not talking to people up there." When she got down here, she liked it. You can be nice to other people. You can be friendly. You know, so I'll talk to people. You know, in D.C., everybody speaks, and we're going to talk about you anyway. So you may as well. Yeah, I know what your voice sounds like, but that's a difference. So there's a difference between New Orleans. You know, if you go to certain places like in Boston and in Western Pennsylvania, where I have family and everybody has a white girlfriend, I don't understand it. I don't visit much. Mm-hmm. Ohio, everybody's got a white woman. It's like, I'm having nightmares, right? Mm-hmm. And then I go, you follow what I'm saying? I go to my family in Miami. The folks are a little more Caribbean, but, you know, they're darker, whatever. I'm not mad. I think they look nice. I mean, all over the country, you know, but we're still African Americans, right? But we have differences. So I get it. When someone's from Jamaica, someplace, they don't feel nothing for us. But wait a minute. If you don't care a damn about me and we're in a situation that's tense, and you can go either way, I can't rely on you. I don't know what to do with you. I'm going to stay away from you. I'm going to stay away from you. If they come to deport you, well, shoot, what difference does it mean you don't like me, right? I don't matter. I'm a Yankee. As people, I learned that. Hang with Caribbean. You mean you don't see me as a black person in the diaspora, but I'm like an enemy. I'm the same as, and then she said, you call me Yankee and you love white people, but you hate the black Yankee. So it's bull crap. They don't hate the white folks. They hate us. Mm. And I have friends in Europe, and I try to explain to brothers in England, hey, I'm not mad at anybody. I always tell people, you've heard me say, I have family from Haiti. I have family from Barbados. It's fact. Family from the Dominican Republic. But I'm a black American. On two sides of my family, people could be classified as Latino, right? Mm. But, you know, yeah, si hablo español más. Yo soy African Americano fuerte. I'm a proud black American. And Nat Turner, Malcolm X, black American, right? Mm-hmm. I can speak some French too. And all this stuff I'm learning about the Spanish and French heritage in the family in New Orleans, I learned that as an adult. So I came up like you, Jackson 5, the Silvers, right? The Crusaders, Billie Holiday, right? That's the only thing. Soul Train. The Soul Train, right? Mm. That's me. Amuri Baraka, the Swats, right? That's okay. And my folks didn't know anything either. So everything is black. And so, you know, you can have a diverse heritage, but you can identify with the struggle of the people here in the country where you're working, earning an income, living, benefiting from generations of struggle. To come and ignore all that and expect the same benefits is parasitic, plain and simple. When I go anywhere, I have friends in France, and everywhere I go in Europe, I always check in with the black community that's there that I know that's there before I even go. Except if I went someplace. In fact, I think even when I went to Germany, I at least tried to hook up with the black Germans I knew before I got there. I go to Belgium, I'm with black folk. I go to Switzerland, I'm with black folks. And in France, I'm with black folks. When I was in England, I was with black folks. In Ireland, I didn't know any black folks. I stayed to myself, right? Mm-hmm. It's just plain and simple. Where else? I mean, if I was in Netherlands, I'm gonna find where the black people are, and I'm gonna say, hey, look, I'm not identical to you, but I'm on your side because I understand we're under attack as a people. If I went and I said, hey, F y'all, I'm gonna get mine, whether whether it hurts you or not, those folks should hate my guts. And we should reserve the right to dislike and revile people who step into the middle of this racial war that's being waged against us, get the benefits off of our struggle, and then either be in the middle and be in between, undecided. Can you imagine if you were in a house and there was a home invasion and you had a guest and they didn't know whether they wanted to help resist the home invasion or mind their business? Mm-hmm. Would you ever have them in your house again after that was over?
Oh, no.
Exactly. Well, that's what foreign blacks are doing here. This is what they're doing. They may not be aware of it, but damn it, at a certain point, you know that black folks are not treated fairly. They're not liked. They're reviled. And if you don't ask yourself, well, wait a minute, why not? Why is this happening? Or if you say, well, they must be bad, that's the reason, then you're an enemy. You bought into white supremacy. You did that. You get where I'm coming from. I had 2 Nigerian broads try to humiliate me at some party. I don't know why they do that. I mean, me trying to embarrass me. So they were saying all this bad stuff about black Americans hating Africans and how we all hated all Africans. I think, what are you talking about? Says, you mean some don't? You're talking about 50 plus million people, right? You can't say all of that about some. I'm certain I agree with you, and they're just insisting on because they wanted to be able to say we hate all of you because all of you hate us. And so I don't want to see anyone black that likes me or respects me because that would mean I'd have to consider them. So I'm trying to. It's the same thing the Asians did. The Asians in California pretended that black people exclusively attacked their stores in South Central Los Angeles. Koreatown was attacked more by El Salvadorans and Mexicans and blacks. But because the Koreans want to be closer to white people, they went along with the narrative, which they call Saigu, that black people just attacked the Koreans. Without talking about the Chinese woman or whatever she was, Vietnamese, whatever the woman, who killed Natasha Harlins, blew the girl's head off for a bottle of orange juice that she paid for. Right. Her name was Miss Du, right? Mm-hmm. That the black, trust me, if that had happened over there, they would have done the same thing. In fact, it wouldn't have been years later, it would have been right away. Anyway, they used their power and their influence to get this woman off for cold-blooded murder of a black child. Mm-hmm. Now, but they wanted to be close to white people, so they pretended. Even though 70% of the people arrested in the Los Angeles riots were Spanish speakers and whites, they made black people the only people who did anything. So they couldn't see we hate them too, right? Punish them. If you play that game, you're my enemy. Even if I don't have a problem with it, if you come to be against me in a white supremacist, you're an enemy. There's a declared war, you pick sides. Now, where that puts us is that anybody that doesn't choose to either be neutral, to say, I won't do this, I'm not going to fight the black man in America's struggle for him, but I will not be used against him. I refuse to do that. Like the Japanese in Los Angeles, get along with black folks. They're not the enemies. We didn't put them in concentration camps. The Japanese clearly are not black, but they're not actively working to be against black people. Mm-hmm. Even though, they don't care, but it's okay. I don't need them to love me. Just don't try to destroy me. Mm-hmm. Are you following me? A lot of the people playing this game, and we have to begin to throw the gauntlet down, and it's already being done. It's interesting. The white nationalists are actually doing it for us, and it'll be very interesting to see how many people are going to not claim to be black in the census because they want our numbers smaller, which is fine. And what many people don't know is that many of these foreign black folks have asked, we don't want to be identified with them. We want to be in a separate group. They're going to get their wish, but then that's going to backfire on them. Because once this understanding grows, a lot of people are going to say, well, wait a minute. Your folks weren't marching in Selma here. Your folks weren't in weren't in Durham, North Carolina. Your folks didn't. I mean, we're not mad. Yes, you're black. All these laws and things we struggled and we fought for. That was for a specific group of people. It's not for you, Indian and Silicon Valley, who's as dark as I am. It's not. I'm not mad at you. I don't want you to be discriminated against, but you have nothing to do with that struggle, right? So you shouldn't benefit from it. And it's dirty. I can't go to India and claim to be Indian or a Dalit or whatever, because no, I won't. They'll tell me I'm exactly who I am, where I'm from. We need to get there very quickly as a people. And we need to make it very clear to folks, we're not mad. Anybody that comes here legally, I guess, is welcome. But everybody that comes here is not an African American, or whatever we call ourselves, Black American, African American, Indian, whatever. The people who've been here for centuries, if not millennia, are not the same as people who showed up with suitcases tomorrow. No malice towards them, no anger. If I move to any country in Africa, if I come through legally, people on a certain level will receive me, but they'll let me know I'm an American. Yeah, they will. And they don't hate me. And we have to do the same thing. And those folks who preach this paranoid bullshit, Pan-Africanism, everyone's an African, period, they're useless because they're not living in Africa talking that. And they're talking this stuff theoretically without anything to show for it. I'm not saying don't work with. I have 2 prospects. Maybe I'll marry one or 2 of them. Both are African. Most of my friends are African. I'm not mad at people being from Africa. But, I'll tell them up front. Just because we're friends doesn't mean I owe you an invitation to live here. How much money is that going to cost me? A house you and do all this? That's not friendship. That's damn family. You get where I'm coming from? We have to stop being pimped and being used, because there's games and backstabbing and stuff in Africa too. That's how the hell we got over here, some of us. And we need to be able to understand that. But look, the laws are going to change, I believe, as folks get smart. And a lot of folks who wouldn't identify as African American are going to find themselves cut out of all kinds of stuff. And it's going to blow their mind that they can't be honorary white. And those things are specifically for blacks from the United States. And yes, they do want to divide us, but in as much as those folks already chose to be separate from us, they're going to begin to hit these brick walls. And you'll see this maybe 5 to 10 years. Certain people and their leaders are going to say, we made a mistake. We should have dealt with the Black Americans differently. We should have looked at how we could come together versus saying, hey, look, they're down. Let me grab mine. They're the low-hanging fruit to knock over. This is coming. And this wouldn't have happened with anybody but this crazy president we have now. The other thing I want to say to you, and you'll see this, you notice all over the South, even Florida, from Florida all the way up to, I'd say, Virginia, white folk have been running black people out of coastal communities. Have you noticed that? Just Sea Island, Savannah, everywhere right. Black people, they got to get out. You know what? When you're talking about global warming and all the flooding, that's what nobody's talking about right now with Florence. There's going to be a major, almost a biblical-like punishment for people taking that land from our people over and over and over again and driving people off the property that's been their family for years and marginalizing people. I wouldn't be surprised one day if there's a huge tsunami that hits places like Miami and all along the coast, all the way up and down the coast. It'll be very interesting to see it happen. And it would just really put a hurting on a lot of these white communities that have been built up based on the displacement of black folks. You know, that will be so catastrophic. There'll be no way they could blame black people. After all, we don't control the weather. That would just blow people's mind. Can you imagine waking up one day and hearing like all of Myrtle Beach, or the nice white part of Myrtle Beach, or the Outer Banks of North Carolina, I mean, just a tsunami had taken all the folk out, and the black folks are still there. I mean, because they got pushed to the higher ground. So I was just saying to Ray Fontroy and other people, like California, as they're pushing black people out, don't feel bad. Leave California. Let them have it. The earthquake, Fukushima, all that stuff's out there. Fires. Maybe God's trying to tell black folk, get the hell out of Dodge before I really come down on these people. And I mean, if the folks, Fajita eaters want to be out there and push you out, go. But move to places like Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama in numbers. Move organized where you have a force. Can you imagine if 500,000 black folks moved into Tennessee? That would just make, if a quarter of it, that was just, the whole world would almost end. You get rid of that little bald-headed Elton John, effeminate Cohen. If you see your congressman, he looks like Elton John had a bone cut. I mean, or he looks like Elton John in chemo. Huh?
I hear you. Go ahead.
Well, are y'all gonna get rid of him now?
I think his time is coming up. We'll see. I don't know.
And so that's all I want to say to you. Now, just keep your eyes peeled. Don't be surprised, brothers and sisters, if it's a complete turnaround. One person I hope wins. I hope that SB wins in Mississippi. He's arrogant, and him chasing hoes got him in trouble here in D.C. And he did all this stuff to help gay people, and they didn't help him when he needed them. See, black folks go on the edge to help this LGBTQ, and when you need it, you're by yourself. San Francisco, the black community went to Tibet. All the way back to Huey Newton, the black folks embraced the gay community in San Francisco. Have you been to San Francisco and seen the black people living in the doo-doo and the syringes? Do you think they care? They've built more places for you to doo-doo, but no housing. And so I hope SB's learned something from that. Maybe he'll win. That'll be good for Mississippi. I think that they're going to beat Fat Girl in Georgia. They got Joe Biden going down there. She must be gay. She got all these gay people campaigning for her. Fat Girl. I mean, maybe she can win. I don't mind. I don't like any of the only Republican I like running is Hogan. He's running against Jealous. So if Fat Girl won in Georgia, I'd be happy. If Give 'em or Give It Up with a win in Florida, I'll be happy as long as he keeps the cracker out. Please, if you're in Texas, vote against that little bitch, Cruz. In fact, his wife's a hoe and she's mental, and he looks like he's a liar. He looks like a Frito Bandito Joe McCarthy.
Donald Trump exposed his dad as being a friend of Oswald. Oswald.
He's dirty, and Rubio's a little sissy. I hope he loses too. They should call him Rubio. You saw the picture of him with the little boys with no clothes on in the lather dancing.
Oh my God, no.
See what I'm saying? I told you, DC, it's like a vacuum cleaner for doo-doo. The only thing clean here are the black folks who live here. I didn't ask to be born here, but I am, and so I just see it like it is.
Go ahead, sorry.
I want anybody out there, I want to remind them, if you want a copy of the document about this bastard, Harry L. Williams, and no good, rabbit tooth, you could kick a field goal through the gap in his teeth. Oh, sorry, nigga, it fell us out. If y'all want a copy of this case so y'all can share it and talk about him, and if you want, I can give you his office number. We can send him emails and tell him to repent and resign. Leave black people alone. Why don't you shut the white people's schools? Or in fact, shut your damn mouth. Find something else to do. Y'all can, wrandyshould@gmail.com. I will circulate that. I want everybody. Everybody's got to know what a no good nigga this man is. And we got to save our schools, save our race, save our black queens, save our black kings, save our children, save the unborn generations, and save our black nation from internal and external enemies by any means necessary. I don't mind who don't like me. Our people have to survive. We have a right to exist. and our numbers are greater than what they say, if we can just hold on, black folks, men and women, are going to be kings and queens in the land of our ancestors' birth as well. We'll have a double heritage of that in Africa. We combine with those over there that can work with us. We have to think that way. So I'm going to stop here. We got to talk again. There's so much to talk about. Oh, my God.
Girl, I feel like we're talking about the Supreme Court justice stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's Clarence Thomas 2.0. And he tried to steal some cooch. They should strip him from that. He looked like a liar. And I got to tell you, I met that nigga's mama way back. She used to work at my high school. That's no more than 4 blocks from the house I'm in right now. So she was racist just like him. Okay, that's real talk. Look her up. She worked at McKinley High School. I'm a McKinley class president, vice president in 1983. She was either my brother's teacher or mine too. And there were old racist teachers that were there that wished the school was white again, were hanging on, hoping for the black ingress to the city to go down. I guess she gave the moved on. I'm certain that I know her or have heard of her or have met her. And she was one of the teachers of the school when the black kids rioted and were making bombs. So, I mean, he's no good. He's a liar. Just because I like Trump coming down on illegals, bringing dope and all this other kind of stuff, doesn't mean I like any of his appointees. Mm-hmm. I don't like him. I don't like Gorsuch. I don't like Sessions. I don't like DeVos. Oh, I got to talk about that lying, no good, effeminate. He should be called Flicted Hands. Ben Carson. That's coon. He's a despicable Sabbatarian coon. That Negro is out there talking about there's some communist conspiracy against Kavanaugh. You know what? There's a communist conspiracy against his wife getting like a facial and some decent clothes to wear. Have you seen the stuff she had on? I'm telling you, the Scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz had nicer stuff to wear. And that was a man. What's up with that? Then you're a millionaire and your wife looked like she dressed at a TJ Maxx outlet. I mean, did you hear that 1/3 of his staff, he hired all these crackers with no experience in housing and quickly gave them raises up to $100,000 and they're not doing a damn thing for us. He's a chump. He's a liar. Dick Gregory said that he never performed those surgeries and that someone white did it. That's why he doesn't have a Nobel Prize. You know what? I used to respect him, but damn, he's so dumb. I mean, I used to work in the health science library for Howard, and I'm telling you, a lot of people that were medical folks, they were arrogant and stupid. Yeah, you know how to cut somebody up and sew all that, but you don't know no geography, no political science, no philosophy. The nigger was trained, he's not educated. There's a difference. A dentist is great on your teeth. That doesn't mean they know anything about the Constitution. It doesn't mean they know anything about Metternich or Richelieu, or they know anything about what? The greater Southeast Asian co-prosperity sphere. It means that they know this medical stuff. In fact, most doctors don't know anything about nutrition. That's why they're killing us. They do not know anything about pharmaceuticals. That's why they're killing us. They're about pushing pills, making money. Most doctors are selfish, narcissistic folks who don't know a hell of a lot of anything outside of they went through all that crushing and cramming to make a lot of money cutting people. It's not about healing. It's about getting paid, cutting, chopping, and selling pills. So, to him, they need to take all his pictures down. My mother bought his book for me. I'm glad I never read that stuff. Because, we run out of toilet paper. I might be inspired to do something real with the book. Yeah, now I'm brave. I don't care how I feel. So I don't know it's flesh down the other stuff. This man is such a disgrace. There was a guy named Clarence Pendleton who was a buffoon that worked for Reagan, and he died of a heart attack. I was so glad. I was on the exercise bike laughing, working in a mental hospital. People thought I was crazy. I said, I'm crazy with joy. And there was another one, Samuel Pierce. He was a guy for HUD for Reagan that started dogging all the black people in public housing. This man's a liar. He's an idiot. He's a fraud. And we won't even get into, this will make me mad. I'm going to go in on Seventh-day Adventist, and I'm not trying to do that because I have SDA family. whenever you see me not go in on something, it's because I do actually like my friends and family. I can't like bash too hard after like, but you know, he is a fool. He is a fool. He's a disgrace. In fact, there's a civil war going on in the Republican black circles. I have friends. These folks hate these people. You see around Trump, folk hate them. You're going to see some real strange things happen. I see black folks exploding in places like Chicago, where they've shot other people. New York, they shot somebody. Folks are going to trip. And if they bring out any of these black folk around Trump, if they bring out that slut Paula White, who's a false prophet and a charlatan, stole the Black Widow's church from her, and all these Negroes are following her like she's Jesus. I mean, maybe they think heaven's between a white woman's leg. They still don't make her God, even if you think it will. I mean, why anybody need that tramp to lead them anywhere? I mean, she looks like something out of like one of those old 60s Western sitcoms. A Gunsmoke, a little hole that has a little bar with a little whorehouse upstairs. I mean, no, don't make me feel nothing close to no God, okay? And so, you know, I think we could go on and on, but I want you to do something unusual.
Okay.
We absolutely need to do an election special. And that's not going to be too long from now. We need to do a review. Like, did you see the sister that won up in Massachusetts? That's going to be interesting to see what happens with her.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the little Russ sister? Oh my God, I almost left it out. Have you noticed that they've been running a lot of black women in the Democratic Party? They're always single with jacked up hair. And I'm not a big hair person. In fact, I haven't had my hair cut all year. I'm not trying to cut it. Okay, so I'm doing kind of my tribute to what's his name, the dude from Ohio, the one who Don King. I'm doing my own tribute to Don King. Okay, so I cut my hair when I feel like it. But there's a sister who's running for. Her name is Word something. It'll come to me. This lady is running for the 14th Congressional District in Illinois. And she got like almost every gay thing in the world back in her. She's got everything but a dildo on her flyers, right? You know, she put carpet up there, you know, instead of a flag, have a carpet with a rainbow on it. Let's even know where she's coming from. They're picking these sisters. They always have like difficult hairstyles. They're always single. And they're always heavily endorsed by gays and lesbians. Very weak black support. They're running this woman, and her name is Underwood, and I said is no good. I think her name is like Laura Underwood or something like that, and I'm saying she is no good. I don't know who she is. She's running against some cracker that's Republican, but to me, if you're being pushed by LGBTQ and the baby killers. When they get in, that's all they're pushing is killing black babies, and everybody needs to be gay and transgender. Like the brother that got, not the brother, but the white dude from Greece that got fired from one of the University of North Carolina schools because he wrote down that women didn't have penises.
They don't have penises.
you just lost your job.
Oh my God. Okay.
So no, dude got fired for saying women don't have penises, and he got fired from his job, and basically ran out of school. And told him stop insulting people. So I have to now assume that women have penises if I want to work at certain public universities. For all the folks out there who are same-sex attracted, I mean, if that's what you want, you'll have a lot of folks eventually that are going to flip out on you. Because if all women have penises, why aren't more women buying jock straps? Why aren't more women buying stuff for jock itch, right? And why do we need different men and women's restrooms since everybody's got a dick, right? And then how does the baby get out of the urethra of the penis? And how come it happens to women but not to men? If you're going to argue that.
Right.
You know, I'm just being ridiculous to show you how stupid this thing is. And I'm not obsessed on it, but I'm like, God, that's ridiculous. You know, it's one thing is whatever sex you're going to have, but to impose that where people now have to pretend. So pretty soon dogs will be cats, cats will be dogs, blacks will be whites, which is what they're trying to do. Transracial. I identify as black.
Right.
Do you know where that stuff started? It started at Harvard. I was there. I had this big white butch that looked like Fred Flintstone, who started talking about having an identity as a black woman. When my mother came to visit me when I was in grad school, I was so embarrassed. And I told her, you know what? You can adopt a black girl. You can live next door to a black woman. You could be married to a black woman. You'll always be a fat white dyke. Okay? She bust out crying in class. What are you crying about? Like a big lambda sign on and all that. I mean, that's what you want people to know. Why do I have to accept you as a black person? So this big party that they invited me to come to. Be careful when white people invite you to a party. Normally they want to roast you.
Right.
One way or the other. They want to have me come in so all the white lesbians could jump on me and say, she was complaining that I destroyed her identity as a black woman. I didn't go to the party. I know
that's right.
I don't even like the food. I mean, there's going to be beer everywhere. I don't know if you've been around a lot of white folk when they've drank beer.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, right. I won't go any further. And I'm thinking, not interesting. And to have to listen to maybe, some Aerosmith or something like that. Music I don't buy. I've never bought any music like that. Mm-hmm. The only reason I've listened to them was Walk This Way, and that's what the black group was doing something with their stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be around that. I mean, so I found out that they were at the party and all the people crying and cursing me for snubbing them. I'm thinking, shoot, if you consider black people inferior, why would you want me at your damn party? Mm-hmm. All that says is that morally, I have the moral authority to say who and who isn't black, and so do you. And so the little frauds like Rachel Dolezal, who went to Howard with me as well. Damn, all the weird people, I'm telling you. Mm. And the little coon Negro down in Alabama. Remember Archer David?
Oh, yeah. I remember him.
Up with him, too. Mm-hmm.
Wow, he was so confused. He became a Republican then. First he was like Obama, Democrat, then became a Republican.
Well, he's a sheep-publican, but I just say this to you about dude. Okay, that I remember watching dude make a deal or try to make a deal to get rid of most of the black urban housing in downtown Mobile to lure EDS America. These are people that build Airbuses and large planes. To get them to come to Mobile, they were willing to get rid of the black section of the city.
Wow.
And he did that with a straight face. Now I saw this. You taught Arthur, I said it. That nigga went to school with me. You're a chump, Arthur. You're weak. And you've had enough money to get married. You're not broke like me. Why are you single? Mm. You know I know why. And I saw you in the picture with Obama where he's dressed up like the devil with a smile on your face. I thought you didn't like Obama. What's that all about? See what I'm saying? We need to start calling people out. Calling people out. And Arthur Davis, I mean, why isn't he doing something about hookworm? We're not talking about the hookworm you want, Arthur. It's the hookworm people don't want. Huh? I'm talking to you, Negro. Fake nigga. All weak. I mean, the dude looked like SpongeBob with the bad afro. He got his hair cut down. He used to really look bad. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I don't care.
I gotta ask you about the Cosby thing coming down today.
Oh yeah, it's coming down today. Well, I told you about this a long time ago, right? Mm-hmm. Well, did you hear that Cosby didn't pay his attorneys? He didn't pay, I think, the guy Garagos, the one who's supposed to get Michael Jackson off. Yeah. Not Garagos, it's another one. The one with the white hair.
I know you're talking about. The one who got him out last time.
The one that looks like Meryl Streep with white hair.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. The one who was Michael Jackson hair for his last trial.
Yes, but he does look like Meryl Streep.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Go ahead.
Okay. Look, I'm hoping that Cosby gets probation. But you heard that the judge refused to recuse himself, and they've done everything. They really want to put a blade in Cosby, okay? They really want to punish him. And so I'm hoping that he doesn't have to spend the rest of his life in jail. But I have a feeling they're going to do something like 3 to 5. I'm hoping not. In my spirit, first and foremost, I was mad. I don't know. Remember when I was back in the rape?
Yeah,
I was mad because it's like, damn, Bill, you said all that stuff about family you don't talk to or have no, and then you start to look at the trial and say, man, I got to be bigger than that. This is your people, man. You can't. He's done a lot of great stuff. I'm certain there's some asshole in him. My father, I love my father, but the men in this family, they're all assholes. They are. They're great men. They're assholes. So there's some asshole in Bill Cosby. I'm certain it's there. There's some asshole in all of us. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just talking about where the doodle goes out. I'm talking about just asshole in terms of that. So I don't know, but I don't want to see him get it. But I'm feeling like I'm hoping for probation. I'm hoping for some like 10-year probation, a community service. I just don't think that they're going to be merciful to Cosby. I think they're going to teach him a lesson, and all the people are going to be dancing on TV celebrating. There'll be all the black lesbians and all the little coons, females who have white women or white male lovers celebrating their victory. But Cosby, he's never, this entire time you and I have been talking, has never said black people, they're not going to give me justice, but I didn't do this. I need your prayers. I need your support. You guys matter. The pound cake, I'm talking about a specific thing, but that shouldn't justify me not getting a fair trial, blah, blah, blah. He's never come and says, I need you, sisters and brothers. Brother, I call you when I need something to help me, right? Mm-hmm. We're never going to get anywhere as strong individuals. We'll only get there as strong people. That's why, we had this, gathering of people who are believers who tried. I'm trying to find, you see me on the phone, I'm there trying to find people because I'm completely incapable as an individual to do but so much. But if a group of strong people with vision, we can do something. Cosby trusted in the Boule coons, and they've let him know that they let anybody down because they don't give a damn about anybody. Mm-hmm. In reality, the only people that are going to be down for you are that bottom 80% of black folks. There's a good number of them who don't have to be rich. They've never bowed down to white power, no matter how many opportunities and things they've cheated, they've been taken from them, or they've been through. They're still true to certain principles as black people. Those folks are golden. And I talk to people from all over the world, Africans, everybody else know if you meet a good, righteous African American, they're second to nobody. I believe that Cosby surrounded himself with yes men and women and other things, and real people who might say Cosby, is effed up to get that big high-priced lawyer from California. Why not get a local person that can fight? Why not do this? Why not go to a couple of churches? Why not pray? Why not go somewhere and repent and say I was a hoe, but I didn't rape that woman, right? Mm-hmm. Just small things that you could do. I know what it's like to be accused of raping someone or sexually assaulting someone. And when the first thing other people know is I didn't do it, I went and called and says, no, never. I never hit it. I never tried to. I was nice to the person. I never put my hands any place that could be construed on trying to get it. That person's lying. You've got to do certain things when you're accused of something sexually. If you don't do that, then you leave it open. Bill Cosby has been let down by his publicity team. They haven't reached out. They could have gotten these people. There's no online fight or defense of Cosby. It's only one story. He's being done in by people close to him. And I only think maybe 5 p.m. tomorrow, if there's some crazy sentence, well, he may think and say, could this have been done differently? And the question will be, who can even talk to anybody? Because, these black folks have gotten so high on their level. Like when I went to my pastor to try to warn him, hey, Hillary and them have a trap for you, and Gaddafi and Libya don't go. But I was nobody, even with this understanding, to say anything. imagine if I had something to tell you, brother,
Mm-hmm.
and you says, well, you're not a medical doctor. You can't share this with me. Like, I've got a friend who's in Jackson. I had a vision for son being murdered by either a policeman or someone, a black person in Jackson, Tennessee. I told her, and she went off on me. Do you know he got shot dead about the same time of the year on the same street that I told her on?
Mm-hmm.
You know, she knows and I know, and I'm not trying, I feel so bad. The one it was to prevent it from happening. You know, if you ever saw that movie Denzel Washington was in where he could go back in time and undo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We've got wise people in our environment, brothers and sisters, our Dick Gregory's, our Joe Browns, these people who see stuff. If you listen to them, if you talk to them, even when things are arrayed against you, you've got a capacity, at least a counter plan. Do you get where I'm coming from? You can do something.
Mm-hmm.
If you know, you just get blindsided. But you've got to have your ear to the ground and be open to people. You know, I've had people do things to help me, people I didn't even know, but I have to be receptive. Sometimes there's some jackasses, you weed them out.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes there are people you don't know, they've got something that's just for you. You don't know who sent them your way. And if you're like, well, you're not in social media, you're not an entrepreneur, I can't talk to you, you're right. And you miss that. Are you feeling me? And so Cosby has to reconnect in a real way to his people. This could be a blessing in disguise, because if they say Bill Cosby gets 20 years, there's going to be a cry from black people across the country. People are going to say, oh no. We often wait, we're reactive instead of proactive. If they say 15 years, if they say 30 years, which means he dies in jail, some people are going to finally want to know what's been going on. Are you getting where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And it may just take Bill Cosby. Oh God, it hurts. His ass being locked up and his wife being free to talk to people and really put it out there what happened, because Cosby, he didn't fight this thing. You look at Weinberg. Weinberg is taking no prisoners on these holes, whether he raped them or not.
Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein, you know, small hat rapist from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Weinstein, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I
am. Yeah.
Weinstein's taking no prisoners. Weinstein is bringing out tapes. He's fighting these hoes back. They keep coming out with charges. He keep coming up with stuff. You remember he put up thing where the woman said she loved him after this woman said she had been raped. Dude is putting that, and we know he's a predator, but he's got no shame. He doesn't mind destroying white women because he's a Khazar. He sees them as, you know, shiksas, whores.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby had too much deference to white womanhood to save his own skin. I got accused of raping a white female when I was in divinity school. I got accused of another person. Someone didn't touch, didn't want, didn't like. Had I been quiet, they would have probably done something to me. The first thing I did was call the person the story went to and told them how ugly she was, how repulsed, how insulted I was, how nobody wanted her, how that bitch had rape fantasies and none of us was trying to fulfill it, okay? Nobody wants to, nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in fact, if I woke up with her, I'd be scared. I'd check myself in the mental hospital. And I told that white dude, if you dare do this, everybody I'm going to say that you put her up to do it. I'm going to get your house. I'm going to get your wife. I'm going to get your kids. If you try to run this game on me, try to put me in this ugly, Raggedy Ann looking broad with the gap in her teeth, a white girl with a gap. That don't even look good. That doesn't look like a little bovine looking white broad. Say somebody touched. I don't want her.
Mm-hmm.
So I went off on him. I threatened that dude. Says, Y'all bring them up there. I'm going to say you did it. The fact that you spoke to her and y'all didn't rape test her, I got your ass. I got you. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy everybody. I'm not going to go down like this. White people relate to that. Trying to find the happy medium to go and get along, you'll go and get along right to your lynching. And that's what's happened to Bill Cosby. He didn't really fight. He didn't fight this like it was serious. He has that advisor, his PR person has to be some kind of a coon. The coons around Cosby, people who just, well, George Bush isn't so bad, and he was 43rd president, and he came from a life of... These kind of black people that won't say that's a racist, corrupt so-and-so, right?
Mm-hmm.
The black people who lose their black fight, their connection, their realness, they're useless to everybody, and that becomes a way that they can be taken down. Look at what's happened to Serena Sarias.
Mm.
She got with that so-called billionaire. I mean, if you got $13 billion, motherfucker, take out full-page ads and denounce that judge and the whole tennis association and tell them that you're going to set up a tennis association where you'll be the damn judge. And y'all will have purses of $1 million each time because he's got billions. Do you realize how many people would want to be in that? And we're going to change the whole system how we classify who the best tennis players are. You got $13 billion, so you say, then give $1 billion to Serena, invest in your woman's career. Well, weak cracker, wait until she's showing pregnant to marry her. Do you think he respects her?
Mm.
Look at how her game has gone down, and look at how he's putting out tweets. You're a billionaire. You own Reddit, bitch. You could have done all kinds of stuff. When you marry one of those cave boys, they don't want to fight for you. They don't love you.
Mm-hmm.
So caught up in the fact that somebody white's laid up with her. Shoot, you almost had someone white, Common, white as him, and Common's not as weak as he is. I mean, shoot. And Common looked better with no hair. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at how pale. I mean, it looks like some albacore tuna with some wig on it. And look at how her game has gone down. They're pushing back against her. She's losing everything. Tiger Woods was a winner till he got with that Swedish hoe. When you sell out your people, when you move and try like be universal, yes, black is already universal. We got shipped all over the world. I got family on every continent except for maybe Australia. Actually, I got a close friend who grew up, almost had family, well, almost, I did have a black Australian, South African, girl almost had family in Australia. I have family in every continent except for the South Pole in Australia that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I may have them there too. I just don't know. What's not universal about the black experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Michael Jackson universally recognized? Isn't Mahalia Jackson universally recognized? Isn't James Brown universally recognized?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Cal Basie, Duke Ellington?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just you name it, Michael Jordan. We're the most universal people in the goddamn world, and yet we somehow think, well, black isn't universal. It's got to somehow be denatured. Says who? Says who? Says when? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Beyonce universal?
Right.
Right? Diana Ross universal? We could just music alone. Herschel Walker. We could just go through all the athletes and stars and people, and everybody's universal. Harry Belafonte, universal. Lynn T. Price, universal. Marian Anderson, universal. We've been universal when we were segregated. Frederick Douglass, universal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Fisk Jubilee Singers, universal. We're the most universal. I mean, think about it. What makes things more universal than culture? Isn't fried chicken universal? My potato chips universal? Beans and rice universal? Kitchen cooking? Popcorn, shrimp? You go all over the world. You show me how much stuff we're eating from other places and compare that to how the African American culinary thing is worldwide. They don't call it African American, they say Southern cooking, but who the hell did the cook? Catfish and cornbread, that's everywhere. Barbecue, Southern barbecue, we should say West African via the American South barbecue, is very universal. Where's Lauryn Hill learn this stuff from? Where did Seal learn it from? Where did Jonathan, what's the guy from South Africa? I think Jonathan Edwards, I may have his name wrong. You know, I'm talking about the one that had the song Lies. You got all these people from all over the world singing. George Michael, who do you think he's listening to? All these, I don't care how they end up, who was Elton John listening to? Who were the Rolling Stones listening to? The Beatles, everything they got, who were they watching? Who made, did you know, in fact, I learned this from, what's his name, from Dick Gregory. Who made John Wayne a star?
Never fetch it right.
Got you. Who represents America more than John Wayne to a certain generation of people? Right? Sinatra, who was his favorite singer?
There you go, Frank Sinatra.
Billie Holiday.
Okay.
In case you didn't know that. Billie Holiday is his all-time favorite singer. I'm trying to do this like Billy would do it. White male trying to imitate a black woman and wasn't afraid to tell anyone. Who's more identified with American music back then than Frank Sinatra? And who is Glenn Miller imitating other than he's trying to be a white Louis Armstrong? Elvis Presley, who is he trying to be? Ike Turner. He's trying to be Big Bill Brunsey, right? All the stuff that you identify as American, no matter how you cut it or slice it, it ends up being black at its core. And we're not universal. Sit down. Sears and Roebuck, mail order. Who's Roebuck? Right? And it's just the Ford. Where did Ford get the car from? Right? American junk food, sugar, real low. Right? Just every time you think about something, it comes back to what? On a certain level, there's some connection to our people. We're very universal. How dare us think that we're parochial? You might be segregated and reviled in America, but it doesn't mean you're not universal. Absolutely does not mean that you're universal. We are very much universal because we're the only people that you find everywhere. I've been to every continent except for the South Pole. And I found black people in Korea. They don't call themselves black, but they got nappy hair. I was in Ireland and I saw Irish people with nappy hair and dark skin. They don't call themselves, well, they get called black Irish. They don't call themselves black, but they know. I met them and they have to smile and say, yeah, I'm looking at you. I know why you're looking at me. We are the darkest people walking down the street. I was in Iran at the Shah's house. There was a guy that looked like Byron Allen from Real People. And he stopped and he smiled and yes, I'm a black Iranian. We took pictures of me. Yeah, I'm black. I'm people. No, I'm from here, right? Everywhere I've been, Asia, I've found we're the only people that everywhere. So where did this idea come from that we are parochial? The only people who have recently branched out and gone everywhere are the ones who have created all the problems. In fact, they're so parochial wherever they go, they destroy all the cultures and take their stuff and impose it on everyone else and then don't even want to share it. And then make fun of how you don't speak the very language they won't teach you as well as they do. As if you're supposed to somehow know it just enough to be my slave, but not enough to converse with me. Okay, so that's who's parochial. You show me a black people that went all over the earth destroying people's religion and culture and agriculture and systems. Just everything had to be destroyed. There's no way they could work with it. You're universal because there's no way you can't go or you can't blend. Okay? You've got a huge black community in Copenhagen, Denmark. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's those huge, maybe 10, 15,000 people. They're loved by the Danish people. The Danish don't like the new Africans and others have come over. They like the black Americans who came over. They could blend. You don't even know they're there. You don't hear about racial incidents because they've come in, made apart, people like them. You got black folks in France. They've been there 100 years. Nobody complains. They're in Tanzania. They're blending because we're universal. We all learn to fit in and get along with. You've got. I remember there was a music queen in Australia. There's a black lady who's a music queen in Australia in the 80s. Had a lot of hits down there. You don't hear about her here. Wherever you send us, we become important. Take Dennis Rodman's whole ass father, who has maybe 100 children. He fits in just fine. Put us anywhere and we blend. And don't push other people out and make them unwelcome in their own land of birth, but become a part of them. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
You take Matthew Henson's descendants that live up at the North Pole. They still like Matthew Henson. They still hate the white people he came with. Because the black dude could blend, was friendly. In fact, the woman was determined to get pregnant by the black dude so they could have one. And travel anywhere as a black man and see how fast folks are running. I mean, you have to have a padlock on your belt. Folks trying to keep something when you're gone because you're universal. And you go to certain places, and if you do find hatred, it's usually the males who don't know how to relate to their own women. Okay, if you learn anything about Germany, about the riots and things that happened there with the white guys, both German and American, that couldn't even relate to their own white women, that didn't want the black guys anywhere because they couldn't compete. How can you be in the land of Hitler and you can't even relate to your own white woman? You got white skin, racism, all this stuff stacked up, and you can't relate. And that's why most mass killers are white dudes that can't get none.
Yeah.
Big gun, small penis, inflated sense of importance, and nobody agrees with you. All you know how to do is pull the trigger because you can't get an erection. Anyway, let me stop there.
Oh, Dr. Shaw, thank you on behalf of We All Be and the family. We love you madly, in the words of Duke Ellington. And keep on producing and pushing.
Thank you, my brother. Peace out. Peace out.
Yes,
Peace
sir.
to you. All right.
Peace to you.